Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Masks Monday. We're up to session 18 of Masks of Nyarlathotep, and we are starting to round off towards the end of the England chapter. However, it sounds like, being the completionist players that I have here, I think they want to kind of raid a few places first before continuing on to different climes. So let's see what happens there. But first, let's go around and reintroduce the characters. Let's start off with Pranit this time. Yes, you.
I'm sorry, I wasn't ready for this. Yes, my name is Pranit Singh Dillon. I was a soldier in the English army under the Sikh division. And since I gave hospitality to a princess in distress, I came to know these three beautiful investigators. And now I'm intertwined in their investigations. So hopefully they won't leave me to a second character death. Hopefully. We'll see, I guess.
We shall see. And Mr. Perry Astor / hamster.
/hamster. Yeah, Perry the hamster Astor. Yes, Canadian explorer and quite badly wounded in the last session. Had a bit of a recovery in hospital and is ready to return to Misr House.
Just about. You've not got many hit points and you've still got a major wound, but if nothing scary happens, I'm sure you'll be fine. And Françoise Pelletier, of course. Bien sûr.
Hello.
Thank you very much. And Winston.
Ronnie here. I'm playing Winston, who's the sort of historian, archaeologist, advisor to the group. And I'm still alive, amazingly.
Amazingly, you are. You live to tell the tale, quite literally. Give us a recap.
Well, last session, it started with Perry and Pranit. They were in a basement looking at papers that they had found there. Myself and Françoise was in the room through a secret door. We were in a sort of main hallway, main sort of grand hall. And we were pretty much hoping that we would be able to do everything and get away before Shafik actually turned up and spotted us. That ended abruptly as she walked into the room with about 5 minutes gone, which, after a sort of verbal sparring with Françoise, we realized that she intended to sacrifice us to her god, and Françoise was having none of it, and a firefight ensued. It was a running battle. It was a very hard fought battle. Perry almost died. Françoise was knocked unconscious, and we thought she was dead, and eventually we were all sort of imprisoned. We discussed various things that we had been looking at, and realized that we were going to have to try and make a break at some point. We managed to get Perry and Françoise looked at by Gavigan himself, using some sort of incantation, some sort of magic seeping through their pores, which was rather nice of him. We eventually... Françoise refused it. Yes, quite right. And we managed to break out. Another sort of managed to sneak away. We drove off. Tried to sort of shoot our way out. Well, I tried to shoot. Everyone else succeeded. And we managed to get our way to Colchester because we were looking to get to the local infantry unit there. Who happily arrived back at Misr House, and they, along with the police, happily arrested several people at Misr House, including Shafik and Mr. Gavigan. And that was pretty much where we left it, apart from lots and lots of arguing.
Including with Barrington on the phone.
Including with Barrington on the phone, where I, because I don't trust him, I said we were in an entirely different city, so I had to drive off to pay a fine and so on and drive back.
Indeed. But yes, that is where we left off, in that the cars and the escorts were coming out of Misr House as you stood just outside the driveway. Françoise shouted whether he had still played his part, and he just simply smiled at her. And as it fades away a little bit down the road, that's where we ended. So you're standing on the driveway. It is still Sunday, 22nd of February, late morning. Let's just quickly run through sanity, etc.
Did I succeed in my D4ing of
Yes, of course.
luck?
Yes. Go ahead. Françoise,
4.
You are on 4, nice. Françoise, you're still on 95 sanity. You're muted.
95 sanity, 0 luck, 4 hit points.
Perry, you are on 70 sanity. You've got your bonus die, which I decided afterwards to give you. 1 hit point, I believe, or did I give you some more?
4. You give me 4.
It was the medical pension, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh no, because no, Gavigan gave you some extra.
Yeah. Okay.
And 22 luck.
22 luck. Yeah, but you still have a major wound. Pranit, you are on 60 sanity with a bonus die, and you are max hit point at the moment, 19 luck.
I can confirm, and I will.
And Winston, you're on 82 sanity, bonus die, 9 hit points, and 12 luck.
Now 16 luck.
16. Oh, yeah, of course, because of the added extra. Oh. Yeah. So just to remind you, with a major wound, once a week you get to roll for con, and that's if you have been well rested and not agitated your wounds or anything like that. So we'll see what happens there, but I have marked it for Saturday because that was when the wounds technically happened. But yes, so you're indeed standing on the driveway. There are a couple of police officers you can see in the distance just sort of milling around, but it appears like the majority have left.
Well, the thing is, if we want less trouble as possible, we should come in by night and maybe getting in from the backyard instead of the main entrance. Otherwise, we may go in now, but we don't know how many people is in there.
Well, I'm hoping the police will have cleared the place. It's a pity we don't have direct access to a phone. Barrington, what am I saying? Barrington might let us in. I don't trust the bastard.
There's like 2 police officers. It is a giant house. We just go in the entrance that they are not stood by. It is easy.
Yes.
Yeah, are they in direct view of us from the gate? Are they? Where we're standing?
I mean, like I said, they're kind of milling around, so they're sort of pacing a little bit. You think they might just be kind of gonna walk around a bit, maybe put some rope up, all that. However, what I will do, okay. Yeah, they don't appear to have spotted you, or at least spotted you and thought of you as a threat, sort of thing. So they just appear to be doing their own thing at the moment.
So we wait for them to go out of view to the other side of the house, and then we just walk in,
Yep.
or vice versa.
Yep.
Okay. Just taking forever to load. There we go. Okay, so you wait sort of 10 minutes or so. One of them you think goes into the house, or at least around the corner a bit, and the other one goes off around the other side, so where the truck would have been. So at the minute it's fairly clear. There is potentially some cover anyway, even if you find that the front door is inaccessible, sort of thing. But of course you've got all the open ground to cover first. So I guess it depends if you're trying to sort of sprint your way and kind of cover ground quickly, or if you're trying to do it slowly and I suppose be more visible.
Cover the
But
ground
it is
as
kind of broad
cover the
daylight.
ground as quick as I can.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, then give me Constitution rolls, please. For your sprinting efforts.
That's a hard pass for me.
Just
23 out of 65.
Just an ordinary pass for me.
Hard pass as well.
No, this is too much. You guys go ahead. I will skulk in the bushes, and I've not recovered yet, so I'll catch you up.
Okay. There is some brush that you're just sort of able to crouch down in, but yeah, you're definitely feeling it. Your head's kind of pounding a bit from where you've been sort of blottoed a bit in the nose and so on. And of course, you keep thinking about your hands and feeling a bit self-conscious about those. But yeah, the other three, you head across really quite quickly. Not really any trouble. And again, the constables don't appear to have noticed you or heard you at all. And they seem to be sort of continuing round. You can hear a little bit of activity inside the house. But again, as Françoise says, it's a big house. So you do, of course, have the front door. You do as well remember the way you went into the kitchens as a possibility. There may be more entrances. At the minute, you don't know. So I will leave it up to you.
Yeah, I do believe that going through the kitchen entrance may be more suitable.
Yeah.
At the very least, people are expecting a normal person to get in the front door. So maybe that's under control. Maybe the kitchen is not.
Yeah, I agree. We know the layout at the kitchen end as well. So
Yeah, still we know exactly what we found when we got in from the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Françoise, obviously you're kind of ambling a bit more slowly and skulkily, but is there anything specific that you're wanting to do on top of getting to the house?
No, I'm just trying to get to the house without being accosted.
Fair enough. Okay. So you remember then, the three of you, that the kitchen area was round the back, sort of round to the right. Bear in mind, I just said that the police have kind of gone round the house. So yeah, there is that, of course. You might even be able to scale through the Great Hall window, given that was all smashed up, if you want. You remember that's the first thing that you would encounter by going round. So yeah, up to you.
Have a quick peek through just to see if there's anyone actually in that room.
Okay.
First.
Okay, so yeah, you have a quick sort of peer. You kind of have to keep low because you do see somebody, although they haven't seen you. It's a constable who is sort of kneeling down near the fireplace. It looks like the room or the kind of entrance to the secret basement has been left open, but you think he's maybe sort of examining further, seeing if he can find anything else around there. You can see kind of remnants of charred walls and stuff just in the entrance from the smoke.
There's a constable at the fire. Over at the fireplace. I don't think we can risk sneaking in this room.
Do we need to go through the Great Hall to get to the library? Or even upstairs?
No, we can get there from the kitchen.
I think perhaps we should maybe try Gavigan's bedroom and Shahif's bedroom first, maybe.
Yeah, I will try to have a look upstairs. We were told that there were bedrooms upstairs, so maybe Gavigan's.
In a big house like this, there should even be servants' staircase from the kitchen up.
Well, you do remember there was a servant staircase down to the basement. You don't know if there was one going upstairs, however. But okay. Meanwhile, Françoise, because you're going more slowly, and also because you've not kind of got things on your mind like the previous time you approached Misr House, you notice sort of behind the house a bit and down to the left, there's quite a lot of open ground that you hadn't really noticed in detail before, and you think you can see some sort of large stone, like a stone, almost like a giant tablet or slab, just the kind of top of it from where you are, in this kind of open ground.
Interesting. I think I'll let the others worry about the house. I'm going to go and presumably I'm going to end up doing an engraving of some Egyptian so that it can be read later, because I don't speak a word, of course, despite Winston thinking I'm fluent. So I will go and check it out.
Okay. Coolio. Yeah, so the main way to this kind of open area would be the back of the house. But you can sort of just about scramble your way down a bit more of a steeper slope to get there. But essentially, it's some kind of steel. It's slightly raised by the time you get down. And you can see this kind of towering slab, which does indeed appear to have Egyptian hieroglyphs on there. Also, something that makes your stomach churn a little bit is there's blood stains on the stone, and also you can see a few manacles that kind of are attached and just kind of drop down from this stone.
I see. So they have done their sacrifice. So I need to do. I need to make sure that the sacrifice is, or whatever ritual they did, is spoiled, and so. What it must be is some kind. I'm not holy, so I cannot bless it or anything. But I wonder if I will clean the blood off for a start. Let me see. Oh, how do you spoil a ritual? Is casting my mind back to the books we've gotten read.
Yeah.
Is there anything about how to spoil a ritual or something along that topic, like, rituals fail if type thing?
Not really, no. Not from the books you've read so far. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, it's kind of been a bit more not to do with rituals per se, more to do with kind of history of different worlds and things.
One was a spell book, though, wasn't it? The one I read, I think, was a spell book.
From what you know, though, it's more kind of either creating or calling things as opposed to destroying, getting rid of them.
But did it mention anything like you will fail to call if? That kind of thing.
Not from what you've been able to read, no.
Okay. It likes blood. So, like, because I know the other thing subsumed blood. They're talking about these statues drinking blood. So I've got to get the blood off. That's the first thing.
Okay.
So is there a water source nearby?
I mean, there's a small stream, yes, at the front of the
Okay.
house. Plenty of
Yeah.
water.
Okay. So I'll see if there's like any kind of tool shed or workshop around. I'll grab a bucket.
Not
Stables.
kind of separate. No stables either. Interestingly, you'd think for Gavigan he'd definitely be into his
Gardening
horses.
shed. I mean,
No,
there's
the
massive
only
gardens, right? So
well, yes and no. They're not really maintained as gardens per se. It just appears to be a large stretch of marshland area. But there does appear to be kind of a couple of rooms that you hadn't seen, which you can access quite easily on that corner of the house, which could have like gardening equipment in or something like that. It's definitely something that servants you think would use.
yeah, I just need a bucket. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll pop in there and see if there's anything, a
Yeah.
rag of some kind.
Okay, cool. Yeah, bucket's fine. I'll say there's a bucket in there. But can you make me a stealth roll, please?
Oh, probably not.
Unless you want to be spotted, of course, by the police.
Well, I don't really get a choice.
So you failed.
I failed.
Okay. Coolio. So yeah, you kind of you're clattering about a bit, maybe because you're being a bit clumsy giving your hands, and you do hear the sound of hello coming
Hello?
from around the corner. Hello, who is that then?
Hello, I am cleaner.
So you see a constable come round. Oh, miss, I thought we asked everybody to leave. This is a crime
No,
scene.
no, this is utility cupboard. I am the garden, so I'm not really in the house, but I just need a tool to clean.
We don't want you cleaning anything first, miss. It's
Not in
evidence.
here. No, 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 no. Outside. It's nothing to do with in here. But I need the bucket.
Can you make me a persuade roll, please?
Oop. Oh, 0-2. So I
Oh,
think that's going to be extreme.
yeah, definitely. Oh, what you mean the windows, right? Oh, that's fine. Yeah, clean the windows.
Not
No
even the
problem.
windows. Outbuildings. Nothing to do with the house, but the bucket is here. It's
Oh,
all I
all
want.
right.
Bucket of
You,
red.
you don't need to
Yeah.
explain. I understand. Fine. Carry on.
Have a good day, sir.
And you, miss.
Yes,
So, zipping back to the three of you then. So you think you heard a little bit of chatter going on a bit further round. You think that the kitchens might be clear now after you've sort of waited a little bit, if you want to go in that way.
Yeah, certainly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. In through the kitchens you go then. So, just to jog your memory, the closest things are going to be there's like a breakfast room and then a dining room, and then on the other side of the house was the fireplace. There were a couple of water closets as well, sort of on the way. And then, yeah, you think that the other rooms are the sort of south of the house were going to be like a library, a drawing room, possibly something like that. But again, it was really Françoise who thoroughly checked everything in there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I will try and make my way to the what we think might be the rooms that may contain a library. And I'm aware I may open a door and find a whole load of policemen having tea in the drawing room, but I'm prepared to risk that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm giving a good look around in the kitchen if I see the staircase going up that Perry mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
if I don't, I look somewhere else following Winston, not to leave him alone.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, give me some stealth rolls, please.
You're going to get a regular pass for me, 58. Oh, I read the 55 and I was concerned, but that was my spot hidden check. So no, it's a pass.
Failed. My dice are returning to haunt me once more.
Oh dear. What did you get,
I
Perry?
started so well.
I failed.
You felt okay. So the two of you then, you're a bit clumsy. You kind of trip over a bit of, say, carpet that's kind of come unturned a bit, and you sort of, you kind of stumble a bit. You sort of freeze, but you don't hear the sound of anybody hearing that they've noticed. So maybe you've got away with it.
I think that sprint across the lawn took more out of me than I thought.
Yeah, feeling that. Right, I'm going to try and find a library. What's the name of that book?
L'Equinoxe Divisé.
That I'm going to look for.
So yeah, you get into the library. Oh, go ahead, Perry.
I was going to say, if Pranit can find the stairs, I'll go upstairs with him.
Okay, sweet. All right, we'll deal with the library first. Yeah, I mean, you go into the library, and you do remember that the Great Hall was a little bit sort of dusty and a bit almost. There's a bit of wear and tear in there. Same in the library, if not more so. And it's kind of strange given Gavigan's standing and sort of pristine demeanor that he has. There are books there. They don't really appear to have been looked at for a little while. There's like a layer of dust on them, but you still kind of look through them. No sign of L'Equinoxe Divisé, or actually really anything like that. There are a couple of French books, but they just appear to be historical in nature. Like you flick through them, and there's a couple on sort of catacombs in Paris, sort of thing. A lot of Egyptian books, but again, very much sort of historic, mundane, nothing kind of cult related at all.
I have a feeling that the gold that we're looking for in terms of books are at the Penhew Foundation.
However,
I was hoping to be here.
However, as you're kind of scratching your head, give me a spot hidden roll.
Right, dice, fucking behave. I'm spending 6 points to get that down to a straight pass.
Okay. Okay. So you notice a sort of small little chest in the corner of the room that you hadn't really seen before. It's kind of tucked out of the way. Inside there are a couple of sort of different ranges of books. They're all quite different though. Some are sort of to do with horse racing, sailing, things that Gavigan doesn't really show an interest in. But the interesting thing about them is they all appear to be owned by somebody called Lloyd Price, or Mr. Lloyd Price. First name Neville Lloyd Price. One in particular that you spot is called Greene's Estates of England. And Misr House does indeed kind of feature in this book. Although, kind of skimming through, it appears to be talking about the house as if it's owned by this Mr. Neville Lloyd Price rather than Gavigan.
Chapeau. Gavigan was a squatter. Oh my god.
At this point, I turn around and say, and we're what, surprised by this?
Yes, I am.
I'm not, at this point, surprised at anything anymore. How big is this chest?
It's not big. It's sort of it's a bit larger than a trunk.
Damn. So not quite something I would want to carry under one arm.
No.
So it's just books that are in here.
Pretty much, yeah. There's a couple of bits of bric-a-brac. Looking through more, there also does appear to be a small, either like a load of receipts or something to do with finances and money. They don't appear to be in Gavigan's handwriting. I don't have a handout, unfortunately, for this. But it does appear to talk about like quite pricey Egyptian artifacts. Nothing again untoward, but they're still quite expensive. So there's sort of a nice bust of Set that costs a good few £100. There's sort of an ankh necklace, things like that. They're mostly things that you would put on display, and yeah, they just appear to be, you know, racking up a lot of debt by the looks of it.
Pocket those.
Oh well, yeah, they're just the receipts. Bear in mind, the actual things it talks about aren't in the chest.
Yeah, pocket the receipts.
Cool. Yes, one thing I forgot to mention as well, which is probably quite important. One of the things that it says on this receipt is a sum, like a sundries sum of £2,000 on loan from Mr. Gavigan.
Yes. Yeah, that's one possible explanation. Wasn't Lloyd Price the name of that? What was the name of the person in Shanghai, the one that they talked about?
Oh, that's Brady.
Brady.
Yeah, Jack Brady. You haven't had Lloyd Price mentioned before.
Another piece of the puzzle. I am going to, because this is a library, it's bound to have paper.
You'd think, but there's not really much else in here. But you could definitely, given the books and have not really been looked at for a long time, I'm sure Gavigan wouldn't mind you know, tearing a few pages out if you need them.
Also, they're not his books, so why would he give a shit?
Phil is frozen by
Yeah.
I thought he was deep in thought.
Yeah, me too.
Just,
Look how concentrated he is.
it's sent a message.
Yeah.
Delving
Shut
into
down
vital information from the
Oh, here he is.
companion.
Back again. There's two of me, aren't there?
Not anymore, there isn't. I got rid of it.
That was a strange experience seeing two of you.
Well, yes, let's go back to Perry and Pranit as you ascend the stairs.
So we found them.
Ooh. Huh?
So we found them.
Found what, sorry?
The stairs.
Yes, they're pretty easy to spot since they're slap bang in the middle of the house. So yeah, you head on up. And let's see. Quite a lot of rooms appear. Some are larger than others. There's a couple of small storage rooms with not really anything particularly important in them. In terms of the larger bedrooms, though, including Gavigan's, which is on the west side, you do find some rather nice things. So let's see what we find first. Okay, so Gavigan's bedroom in particular, I mean, you assume it says, it's definitely the most well kept in the house by far. There's a sort of really nice ornate 4-poster bed, red velvet curtains, all that fancy stuff. There is a dressing table. There's this wooden mannequin that rests on the dressing table, and on it is some sort of ornate-looking headdress. Looks a bit odd. It's kind of got these sort of circular patterns that sort of go around. But when you get closer, you realize that they are of not real, but they're of eyes.
Okay, carved eyes. How big is this mannequin thing?
Oh, it's only like a small mannequin bust for it to be sort of displayed on.
Okay.
I didn't hear what kind of clothing that was. Was that a suit?
Headdress. A headdress, yeah.
If I have a look at it, can I tell what it's made of?
I'm just trying to find out if you can. Yes. Okay. You think it's made of gold, and basically the each of the eyes, it appears to have some sort of gem in. Like even if you're not very good at like appraising or identifying, you know, the wealth of something, this must go for a lot of money. You think? Let me just have a look.
I wonder if this is something they used in their ceremonies. Would it be terrible if we deprived them of the opportunity to use it again?
I beg your pardon?
It would be extremely terrible, which is why you should do it.
We should take it so they can't use it in another ritual.
As per what we heard Gavigan say, they already did it. So we are a little bit too late for that.
Well, there was this big thing happening on the full moon, wasn't there? So on
The new moon,
the new moon.
not the full moon.
So
I mean, it is considered theft. Still, this may prevent way more horrible stuff from happening. So I'll try to find some kind of cloth to wrap this into.
Yeah, that's fine.
In
You
order
can do
not
that.
to
There's sort of
just
spare clothes
take
in
it
here.
like this.
Yeah.
No,
There's sort of spare clothes and stuff.
well, we can just grab a pillowcase or pull the pillow out and use the pillowcase.
There is also, I haven't got this open, silly me. There is also a folded up letter on the dresser. So you know what that means.
No, I don't know, Jason.
It's a handout. You're supposed to be excited.
It needs a spot hidden roll to see if you can read it.
I'll pass it to Pranit.
Let me
to read.
where is it?
Oh, you may be better off with this.
Nope.
If there's something to read, I'll put it in the pillowcase and read it afterwards.
Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, so it is a typed letter, although it is signed handwritten at the bottom, by Omar al-Shakti, whom you recognize from the handwritten ledger that you found in the basement. This is dated January 1925, and it is from Cairo. And it says, "My dear Gavigan, in his name do we serve. As the work of our Lord and Master grows ever nearer to completion, I must ask you with all due politeness to consider the return of that which your predecessor and his associates acquired from us under less than honest circumstances. As we are allies in this great endeavour, I seek not to dwell on past slights and inconveniences, but to move forward. I hope that this is your wish also, and with this in mind, the return of the bust to its true home would not only be a gesture of goodwill, but also a reaffirmation of our most august and beneficial brotherhood. Your humble servant, Omar al-Shakti."
That must mean that bust you grabbed down in the cellar. What do you think they mean this thing? Is the bust here particularly ornate, or it's just like a mannequin head?
No. It's literally just a mannequin that you put something on.
It might well mean the one you saw down in the cellar.
Yeah. That probably took fire.
I thought we took it.
You did, yeah. Françoise took it.
Oh, right.
It's in the car. It's probably in the boot of the car.
Our favorite kleptomaniac. Thank you, Françoise.
Also in this room, there is a painting of who you think is this infamous Black Pharaoh. Very regal looking pharaoh, like full body painting. His skin is totally black. Extremely good detailing on this painting. If you've ever seen kind of like El Greco's sort of Renaissance-y stuff, it's very, very good and very realistic. In particular, the eyes kind of follow you around the room. They have that sort of burning sort of look to them, which is quite creepy.
I think it will be burning.
No label though specifically on who painted it or
Okay.
what
I was gonna ask,
it is of.
It's not signed.
No, it's not signed. The last thing in here is there is a chronometer.
Again.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily know what that was
No.
in character, but your previous character knew about it, yes.
Yeah.
And it's by far the most modern thing in this room, possibly even in the whole house.
And is it on GMT?
Yeah, it's telling the time really quite accurately as well.
How big was the painting?
It's a good size. I don't know exactly how big the dimensions are at the top of my head, but it's quite a large sort of overbearing almost painting on the wall.
Perry, don't even think about it. We are grabbing what we can handle. We
I wasn't thinking about taking the painting. No.
Just rip it out its frame and fold it up.
Well, we could cut it at the frame. That is true. We want it.
Well, I believe that Françoise may die from it.
Or she may want it herself. Speaking of which, so yeah, you're armed with your kind of bucket and I guess you found a bit of cleaning, quite strong cleaning equipment maybe. But
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm going to clean it off, and as I clean it off, the only thing I can think of that might sort of be a kind of sacrilege to whatever ritual they did is I'm going to chant the Lord's Prayer as I do it.
Okay, cool. Oh, by the way, actually, just saying here, it's about 8 feet tall. This thing. Yeah. Okay. So you say the Lord's Prayer. It kind of makes you feel a little bit better, I suppose, but you don't know if it's specifically having any kind of effect on this place per se. You could, however, give me a power roll.
0-2 again.
Oh, okay.
You know the times I've rolled that in this campaign.
Okay. Okay. You can
Dice.
you can feel something. There's definitely something that knows about this place, like a kind of presence that is triggered from the fact that you're saying the Lord's Prayer, and it's kind of hard to put your finger on, but you kind of feel almost like you're being watched by something.
Does it feel scary watched, or is it reassuring, or?
No, this is scary. Like it's almost like if there is some sort of spirit or god watching, it's doing so from maybe inside your head, or it's trying to work you out a little bit.
Okay, well, I'm going to carry on, only I'm going to say the prayer louder.
Okay.
And repeat it and repeat it and repeat it all the time while I'm cleaning.
All right. So as you're kind of saying it louder and louder and repeating, you're starting to hear a voice. Very, very low to start off with, both in volume and in pitch. But as it kind of comes in, it starts almost like an ancient language, maybe Egyptian or something like that. But then just for a moment, as you're kind of doing the sort of really loud Lord's Prayer, can you make me a listen roll?
Oh, if I had 2 luck. Can't pass every roll.
Okay. You are sure at one point you hear your name, but apart from that you don't know. And by that point the blood's kind of cleaned off and this thing goes.
Mm-hmm.
Can you make me a sanity roll, actually?
Yep. Aced it.
Yeah, I thought you would. Okay, yeah, so obviously you're a bit kind of confused. You sort of check around a bit. It is now really quite deathly silent. This voice has gone. But yeah, there's definitely something that is either summoned here or comes here at certain points. It's a holy place.
Yeah.
The exact word I would have used, holy. Yes, definitely holy.
Holy.
Yeah, well, I suppose after cleaning it then, and I've said the prayer, I don't really know how else to, other than destroying this statue, or monolith or obelisk, does it look like is it a big heavy stone resting on a base?
It doesn't actually say in the book, but I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, so in theory, if it's just resting in place with enough leverage, it could be moved, but probably needs substantial leverage. So, thinking back to that utility rope, was there any rope in there?
Yeah, I'll say that there is some rope.
Okay. And you said this was marshy land. Is there vehicular access?
No, there's copse of trees further down, and maybe there could be some way through there, but you don't know. Definitely not from round the side of the house to here.
Okay, I'll check out basically where the firm ground is. I want to see if there's a way to get a car close to this so that I can possibly try toppling it, you see.
Okay.
That's my plan.
The answer is no. I'm assuming you mean as in to attach it to the car and drive away, sort of thing. If you had, say, a motorboat, you might be able to do it at a push.
There wasn't a boat at the house, was there? Or
Not that you saw, no. Well, at a pull rather than at a push, I should probably say.
well, the only other thing I can think of is shooting up the statue a bit so I damage it. Is there any part of it that looks in any way precious or ornately carved?
Not really. Hey, Braden.
Hello, Braden.
Good eye. I mean, the carvings look fairly recent, possibly, or maybe they're kind of nicely cared for, but there's nothing innately valuable about it, you don't think?
Okay. Was there a chisel and hammer in the storeroom, in the utility room?
Oof, you're pushing it a bit now. I ask you for a luck roll, but obviously you haven't got any. So I'm going to say for that one, no, there isn't a hammer or chisel. That's a bit specific.
Uh, hmm. Okay. Right. Well, I've done some. Right. Okay. What about paint?
Yes, okay, there's some basic paint in here.
Okay. I am going to paint the Lord's Prayer over the hieroglyphics.
Okay. Coolio. I will leave that for a moment. The rest of you, however, I assume that the three of you kind of congregated by this point, have you? Or are you still...
Before we leave the bedroom, I just want to whip out the Bowie knife and I want to cut the picture from the frame, wrap it up.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I got my knife, so I can do that.
Actually,
Yeah, I'm thinking we shouldn't leave any of this stuff around because it's obviously dangerous and people use it for...
No, we are taking everything we can carry.
Yeah. So what about Shafik's room? We need to track that down.
yes. So before that, a couple of other things as well in this room that you see. I think mainly from Pranit kind of getting the clothing out, to wrap the headdress in. You find what looks to be Gavigan's club. So same sort of large club with a big iron spike in the top of it. And you also see kind of a wardrobe which has a few different types of high priest robes, but these are definitely the most elaborate you've seen so far. They're all in red, interestingly, with kind of like a gold fabric sort of cord, etc. Big inverted ankh on it.
Okay.
I think we should have a few of those.
I think we're going to snaffle them as well.
They might be useful.
Is there a suitcase in Gavigan's room?
Yes. Okay. I'll say that there's one under his bed.
I was going to say, failing that, would there be enough room in that chest where the books were to put all this stuff in along with them?
Potentially.
Depending on how big the trunk is.
We've got to get down to you first, so we don't know what else we're going to find yet.
Yeah.
So we'll stick it all in a suitcase first, just to make it easy to carry.
That's true.
I'm sorry, officer. I'm just carrying this trunk out of this place. I was told it was under inquiry. Still, I don't give a shit. Sorry.
In terms of Shafik's room, there's not really much in here. There's again some more high priest robes, although hers are in a blue color, kind of a navy blue. There's a couple of sort of neck pieces with inverted ankhs on them.
We take that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That, I believe was the one she was wearing when we got in the first place.
I don't believe I actually specified. She mentioned about black robes.
No, you told us that she was wearing a piece of jewelry looking like an inverted cross.
Yes.
That was the servant.
Yeah.
And the servant.
That was the servant. Yes, but you're correct.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I was paying
You
attention,
think
but
these
not
might be
enough.
similar. Yeah, you think these might be similar.
I think we should take a number of these robes as well, the same number that we've got of the red ones.
Yeah, we are taking the robes.
We just don't want to leave anything behind that potentially this lot can use. We just want to sort of spoil their fun completely.
Well, well, not so much that. I'm thinking of what
If we need to go undercover, we
what
need covers.
Yeah, what Shafik and Gavigan have sort of shown is that there may be factions within this religion, and if so, it would be possibly useful to make sure we've got the right coloured robe on.
Depending if the factions are London-based or worldwide. I mean, as far as we are concerned, it was only the London division that has this inside quarrel. We don't know anything about this overseas.
No, but at this point, I'm rather.
I mean, I get your point. It may be a valid point of.
Yeah, I at the moment, I'm kind of working on the assumption I'd rather have it and not need it as need it and not have it.
Yeah, we are taking everything we are able to carry, as I told you before.
Yeah.
So if we found this suitcase, we are putting all this shit in the suitcase.
Yeah.
I'm
just working under this, assumption that it might be useful later on, but at the moment, we just don't want to leave anything else, anything around that anyone else can pick up and carry on where they left off.
I also bring Perry and Pranit up to speed about the books I found and the receipts and this name.
I think they match the ledger.
No, they're not in Gavigan's handwriting.
Oh, okay.
I tell them about the name Neville Lloyd Price. I mention the loan from Gavigan.
Looks like this Gavigan recollected his loan with all these prize possessions, because given the dust almost everywhere beside the bedrooms that we visited, looks like this place was taken from this prize and not used but for this kind of rituals or meetings that they had.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
another.
that's a plausible explanation. I don't know whether it is the correct one or not.
It's all. I think all speculation is valid at the moment. I think the more information we get, we can start eliminating certain lines of speculation. But right now, I think they're all equally valid.
Still, another possible explanation was that this Lloyd Prince was some kind of archaeologist, because in the book you found, Misr House was the name of the mansion before Gavigan took over. So maybe the loan was for an expedition that this Prince asked,
Yes,
that
and
gave Gavigan the rightful place to sneak in and take over.
yes, because he doesn't have a history of sending people off to their doom so he can assume their positions, does he? Yes, he's got form for that, as we would say. He certainly did that for the Penhew Foundation. It's entirely possible that he sent Price off on an expedition, as you say, and
I don't believe he sent him. I believe that this prince is no more, or that he went and came back with the obelisk, and then he is no more. There was an hyphen between there. All right.
Yes, because it's a posh English name.
it's Neville Lloyd Price.
Yes. So, Françoise, you are busy painting the Lord's Prayer. Do you say anything as well, or are you just sort of doing it in silence?
Yeah, I'm repeating the Lord's Prayer again. Is the only thing I can think of as the character to sort of dispel whatever thing they've done.
Okay. No worries.
I still say just top it off with a nice quick Christian cross on top as well, just to really cement the idea.
So as you're kind of saying the Lord's Prayer, again, this voice starts up again. You think it might be the same one, but this time you think that they're singing. They're singing something which actually, it sounds like a hymn. Abide with me, fast falls the eventide. Yes, I think that's how it goes. Quite a beautiful little hymn. I might try and learn how to play that one day. And this voice is kind of echoing around your head a little bit, and then he sort of carries on starting to sing. And the creepy thing about this voice is like the tones kind of start distorting, and they're very bassy, very low, and you have no idea where this is coming from. It's just echoing around your head, getting louder and louder.
I'm gonna then write on a different face of the obelisk, Death to the Black Pharaoh.
Okay. At which point he sort of stops. Male voice choir. He sort of stops singing eventually, and he says, "Well, I assumed you would want the death of the Black Pharaoh, just as you always have done, Françoise. Deep down in your heart of hearts, you've always wanted rid of me. But writing that will not do a thing." You're muted.
Then I'm going to paint a crude picture of the Black Pharaoh with a tiny dick.
In which case you actually hear him laugh. That is actually quite a funny joke. That does amuse me. Ah, Françoise, you're still as tenacious as you were several years ago.
Several years ago.
And then
Was it
suddenly
Lima?
it's as if this presence kind of leaves.
He was in Lima.
Make me a sanity roll.
Yeah, no problem. I wonder if we need to make sure that temple is still... Now, that wasn't Black Pharaoh, though. He was obviously watching. Food for thought. I still got 2 more faces of this obelisk to paint stuff on.
No, bear in mind it's more like a stele rather than an obelisk, so it's kind of it's a big, thin standing
Right.
stone. So you just got the 2 faces.
Okay. Right. Okay. Bollocks. And now I'll unload both barrels of the shotgun into the hieroglyphs. And that's as much as I can do. I'll walk away.
Okay, yeah. And as you go bang like this, and sort of bullets and stone ricochets off the steel, let us take a break while that sinks in. Yes, a bit of a revelation for them. What was going on in Lima that they did not know about? Maybe they'll find out, maybe they won't. We shall.
We will find out.
Oh, you will?
Yes, I've already decided my character's actions. I've placed them in the chat.
You are changing your underwear and then heading back
And
to
heading
LA.
back to LA. No, that's a revelation we really didn't want.
I know.
Not helped by the sheer pride that you're taking in our discomfort.
I mean, do you want me to be sad for you? Or scared for you?
Yes! Empathy, man!
There.
Empathy with less condescension, man!
Okay.
Fuck.
Well, like I've sort of said before, that I think with all the clues, if I was a player, I wouldn't necessarily have a clue. And also, I've been thinking, I'm probably freaking you out a lot, but because I already know about it and because I've kind of prepped it, it obviously doesn't freak me out in the same way.
No, I mean, it's the thing. I've said it before. The thing about this scenario, let's call it what it is, campaign. The thing about this campaign is there has been so many clues from so many angles that, quite frankly, if you actually went in and went for every clue in every vicinity in every way and tracked down every lead to exhaustion, welcome to 2023. We're at session 197 of Masks Monday.
Well, it's quite funny because apparently Braden he sent me some sort of little present to wear on the stream, but he said that the tracking has said that either it will arrive in 2023 or 2033, possibly. So he's like, ask me, is it here yet? Is it here yet?
G33.
Why the hell is it saying in like 10 years' time it's going to arrive? It's almost like that dial-up where you download something using dial-up. It's like, it'll take 30 years.
What's happened is the postman has left the depot and he is walking all the way from where they're making it all the way to your house.
Or the postman was a silly Billy and thought he'd have a look inside the package, and whatever it is Braden is sending me turned him insane.
And all I can say is, wibble.
Wibble. Yes.
It's a bit like
Wibble.
Put a pair of underpants on my head, stick 2 pencils up my nose, and say, wibble.
So, the three of you hear the sound of the gunshot from outside the back.
And if we've heard it, so have the police.
Yes, indeed. Is there a window where we can get a glance of what's going on outside?
Yeah, plenty. Gavigan's in particular has a very nice view of this. You see a possibly slightly deranged Françoise shooting this rather large stone with a shotgun. And you can see as well there's some paint all over it, like kind of defacing the stone.
Yeah, she went full Bansky on that one.
I would claim Françoise was possibly overreacting. I don't think we've found a base yet of how she normally reacts. to actually gauge whether this is overreaction or not.
Oh, the stone's upset her somehow.
Being this a little bit selfish, but we may wait for the officers to go after Françoise and make a safe exit if we are done here.
Yes, because Françoise will very quietly accept that and will never chastise us in any way for trying that maneuver.
We will pay for a bail.
She'll probably chastise us slightly less than the Met will when they catch us nicking stuff in this house.
How long is the travel to China?
To China?
Yeah.
Oof, it's it's away. It's
By
away.
boat.
It's got to be weird.
Yeah, I know by boat. By boat. In fact, what am I even doing? It's on a nice little thing. Yeah. That is the what? This one. I have so much stuff. Okay, travel time in days by boat. It is depending on how stormy, 22 to 43 days.
43 days. Yes, Françoise might have stopped admonishing us by then.
You made him look up that for a joke.
No, I didn't make him look at it. He looked it up. I knew where the joke was going. It did, keep it doing that. No,
The thing is that, we should make a run for it before things get even more nasty than they already are. So, thing is, we are going out. We are making signs to Françoise, and then we're going out of here.
Yeah, in that case, I am going to try and get those books.
Well, if Pranit, if you want to give Winston a hand with the trunk, I'll take the suitcase.
Yeah, fine.
Because this trunk is going to be a bit heavy with it because it's books.
Yeah. How are you? Are you trying to signal to Françoise out of the window then?
No, once we are going out of the house, maybe calling her.
Oh, okay.
Well,
okay.
I imagine that
From
the
house.
police have probably come to investigate the gunshot.
Yeah.
Which should give them opportunity to leave.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking. We're using it as a distraction.
Yeah.
So
that's
what I was going to say was, you can hear the sound of feet on gravel, kind of heading down your way, Françoise.
right. We've got to work fast. I don't want to leave. Those books may not end up being much, but I'm worried about leaving them.
Mm-hmm. So, Françoise, what do you do?
Well, I start walking back towards the house with my shotgun broken.
Mm-hmm.
And just casually strolling back to the house and let the policeman come right up to me.
Was that you firing the gun, miss? Everything all right?
Yes. No, it's all fine.
What's the problem? You don't need to be shooting anything.
Problem. Oh, I simply had to go trying to get dinner, but I missed.
Oh. Yeah, they're quite tricky to get. They're quite fast.
Yes. I'm also not a good shot.
One of them notices your hands and goes, "No, I imagine you're not." Anyway, yeah. Come on, Billy. We didn't look down this way yet. What is up with that stone? And then they start kind of going up and
I wander off.
yeah. And the others then struggle with all the stuff.
Load everything into the car.
Car? What car? Oh, wait.
You've got a car outside the gate.
Well, the car will. Yeah, it's outside the gate.
It's in the driveway, so you've still got a way to take it.
Okay.
Yeah. So can you? Yeah. Give me strength rolls. Actually, the three of you.
Strength.
Art pass.
Wow. Dead on 70. Not rolling that well tonight.
Winston.
Yeah, failed by a spectacular amount. My dice are determined to haunt me once again.
Was it a crit fail?
No, thankfully.
Okay.
But I don't have enough luck points to actually.
Okay, no, it's fine, it's fine. So it is difficult, like hauling all this stuff, and there are times when you do nearly drop it. But you it's kind of slow going. Françoise sees you sort of struggling half to death almost with this sort of box of books and so on, and also the suitcase. She just sort of casually comes around the side, presumably, and
What just strolled past us struggling.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll just lug your stuff down the drive.
Come on, you're supposed to be a man of exercise and stuff. Is this what you'll be like in Egypt?
Wounded. I was just recovering. Well, we'll be all right. Well, once we have a bit of a rest on the trip, we'll be fine.
Yeah, so you kind of unload everything into the car. Perry, you can feel like you did pass the strength roll, so you're okay, but you can feel it a little bit here, just a bit kind of agitated or irritated.
Oh, I'm just going to sit back in the seat and just try and recuperate.
So the Black Pharaoh spoke to me. I did not like it.
I think we picked up a picture of your friend, actually.
My friend, he's no friend. But the strangest thing, the way he was talking, it was like he was watching us in Lima, Peru. You went there, of course, because you joined us late. But myself and Winston and some other friends who are all dead now, we went to a temple in Peru. In the it is long since lost, but it was and I filled them in.
Oh, I heard about that expedition.
Yes, it was very successful. We secured the cavaliers and stuff, but I mean, the way he was talking, he could have been one of the cavaliers. He could have been just watching or something. He was certainly referencing that he'd observed me some years prior. So I suspect it would be then. That was the only strange thing to happen to me before the events in New York that you're already up to speed with.
I at that point, I'm slightly shaken. I'm well aware of the remembering the sort of voice in my head. When in Lima, so that's I'm feeling a bit of a nasty memory.
The heebie-jeebies.
Was there actually a cult in operation in Lima then?
Not in Lima itself, no, not that we discovered. But there. Oh wait, there was the. Who was? No, the Calicieres, because they did the thing with the tongue and the maggot and. Sorry, Caliciri.
Caraceri.
Caliciri. Oui.
Yes, perhaps that was. They were practitioners, worshippers in their own way.
They're right across the world, this cult.
Yeah, given the fact that we found leads from here to Australia to China, you're coming from New York and Lima before that. I believe that's...
And we know there's something happening in Shanghai.
and
Yes.
stuff going to Australia. And shit going down in Egypt and Kenya.
Yeah. Very, very globe spanning.
Yes.
Globetrotting.
Yes, but before you go globetrotting, you have to do some city hopping. So now that you're kind of in the car driving along, what are you planning to do in terms of like staying tonight? Are you traveling anywhere?
So we must either go to London or we go and investigate this werewolf.
I think we should look into the werewolf. London can wait. I think the arrests have bought us a little time.
I
And
always
it's-
forget where this werewolf was in Derby.
I think
It was in Derbyshire,
Yeah, it was in
not
Derbyshire.
in Derby itself.
of more concern to me is Gavigan has clearly succeeded in doing his ritual. So we must try to discover how to undo this ritual somehow.
Yes. I had hoped that with everything that had happened, that perhaps the ritual might have been rushed somehow, but apparently it hasn't. Which
I mean, I saw fresh blood on this stone, and they appeared not to have to wait for the moon, which was not what we expected. So,
I
no.
didn't say fresh specifically. I just said that there were blood stains.
oh, okay.
I mean, you're not like a medical practitioner, but it wasn't like fresh.
Okay.
You did say that you were concerned because your stuff was in London. So just to remind you, I'm just trying to work out how long it would take to get to do. But you're thinking going up north first, right?
Yeah.
Really.
I think since we are closer, it will be worth to look into this werewolf thing.
You're really not closer.
No.
It's-
We're not closer.
No,
I think
not really. No. Basically, just for your benefit as well, given how the roads and rails work in England, lots of north and south connections, but not many east and west.
That's
So
certainly true now, but there was more. The train network was different in the 20s, and actually, a lot of the smaller provincial lines did operate back then.
yeah,
So it was actually easier to go east to west.
trains were very good.
true. In terms of roads, your easiest way would
Roads?
go to Cambridge, like go via that way,
Yeah.
and then
Sorry,
up towards Sheffield.
How long of travel? I ask because given that it's sort of nighttime, I wonder if do we travel on through, or do we find a place to stop, say in Cambridge overnight, and then travel through to Derby in the morning?
It might be
So-
worth stopping in
Yeah,
London
given
somewhere to get a train.
given our friend's wounds, I believe
That's
it's
true,
worth
yeah.
the rest.
Okay, so in terms of going from Colchester up to Derwent rather than Derby, if you go directly up to Derwent, that takes nearly 4 hours by modern car, let alone the car you've got.
Yeah.
You know that there's plenty of trains going from London, probably St Pancras, you think, or maybe Euston, up to Derby, definitely. So that's a possibility. Or you could go, London to Derby, which is also quite direct. Or, of course, you could go Colchester to Derby, but you'd have to do a bit of zigzagging again on the roads.
So is it 4 hours from here to Derwent? But
Yes.
from here to London, how much is it?
Not long, a couple of hours tops.
I do believe it's worth to go back to London, check out from the hotel, grab all our shit, and then move north, from where we can find a boat to go wherever we then please. Also by train, we are faster than by car.
So are we not planning to eat the Penhew Foundation?
I want to hit Penhew. Whether we would do it before we go to Derwent or after.
You want to do it before Gavigan's release, certainly.
Yeah.
Then this is the perfect opportunity to do that.
Yeah. I don't think we can. I don't think we can not hit. I think leaving the Penhew Foundation alone is not an option.
But 2 of us are wounded.
Yep. Yep. Which is
If we did go by train, it would be a lot easier. We won't be so tired when we get there, and you'd have a chance to review some of those books and things.
yeah.
You're talking a couple of hours. It is.
I speed read.
So my concern about eating Penhew is, yes, this is a good time to do it, but 2 of us are wounded. Perhaps we should draw on some allies, but I'm not sure who we have.
Well,
My character doesn't know. Oh no, I believe that the fellow that barged into Winston's room with the location of the Misr House.
Oh yeah, there's Mickey Mahoney. Presumably he's still alive. You've got, I mean, it depends if you think Barrington's an ally or not. Obviously Alicia, but physically speaking, you're not sure how well she'd be able to do.
If Barrington's an ally, we have a straight in.
There's your guys at Limehouse as well, Pranit.
Yeah.
Even if Barrington is an ally,
he's a straight in because they're now investigating Gavigan.
Yeah, but he's not going to us.
You know, they would go into. We could have him bring us into Penhew.
No, he would take over and do things his way, and he's not a person for a raid. He is a person for mopping up the mess.
Possible. I'm just thinking.
He is a closed book for information. He would do things his way. He would take control. He will bring in his men, and he will have a book of evidence and all these facts, and he won't share it with us.
Possibly. I think
doom the world.
Ooh, now let me think. Winston and Perry, make me no rolls.
No rolls. That's education, isn't it?
Yeah.
Failed that one.
finally hard pass.
Winston, it suddenly comes to you from your distant memory. You remember that the Penhew Foundation is not open on a Sunday.
Ooh. And the Penhew Foundation is closed on a Sunday.
Are you suggesting breaking and entering?
A midday raid.
Well, it wouldn't be midday by the time you got there, but yeah.
I no longer have to suggest breaking and entering, Pranit. You've now brought it up. But what an excellent suggestion. I think we should discuss Pranit's suggestion of breaking and entering into the Penhew Foundation. Excellent suggestion, sir.
I thought that is what we were doing.
I think it's the only way we
What
can
has
get
this
it.
whole conversation been in your head?
It's the only way we can do it. There's no point involving the police.
You think you'll get back to London about 4 o'clock?
Yeah, which means we've got to grab our stuff and just head straight to the Penhew Foundation. And sort of quietly break in.
Quietly breaking in. All right.
Well, I mean, I do have my visitor's pass in case anyone questions. But
Yeah, that's true.
I think
you do.
that-
As does Perry. Perry does as well.
That's a last ditch thing.
Yeah, what are you doing at 3 o'clock in the morning? I've got a visitor's pass.
Why are you breaking in on a Sunday? There was a book I wanted to check out.
I'm a night owl. I work best in the evening.
No, we're going in midday. During the day, nobody expects anything. Then you walk around. If someone does happen to be there, it is middle of the day. What is wrong? Oh, we're not open. No, it's okay. Mr. Gavigan says it's fine.
Yeah, but bear in mind you'll be back by 4.
My bad.
4 p.m. or 4 a.m.?
Yeah, 4 p.m. It's already been
Exactly.
like the morning.
Exactly. We get there before the news of Gavigan's arrest strikes. It'll all be fine.
Okay. Okay, it just sounded like you wanted to go in at midday. It's like you can't. That's in the past.
During the day, I'm sorry, I wasn't tracking the minute, GM. Imbecile.
Keeper. Right, so you're
GM's getting it.
keeper. So yeah, you're gonna head in fairly promptly there. Okay.
I'm sorry, we used the wrong semantics too. Oh my god, what a travesty. You fresh players.
I think I've just got a taste of what the three of you go through quite regularly.
Welcome to the. It's taken a couple of months, but come on in.
Okay, so yes, so you kind of either gather your stuff or you put everything that you've just acquired somewhere safe, presumably.
At my house.
At your house. Okay, coolio. And then you head over to Tottenham Court Road. So it is indeed closed. There doesn't really appear to be much happening at the moment. It's not quite dark yet, but you think it's going to be maybe in an hour or two. Lots of people, just normal people walking around and stuff, as per usual, given it's London. And in fact, it kind of takes you a little bit of time to get used to as well, given the barrenness of Misr House, etc., etc. But yeah, you have a look inside. You're not sure if there's anybody in there. But it definitely seems... No, it seems sort of generally locked.
Okay, we either pick it or break it.
Bear in mind, you can see that there is a way round to the back.
Or we do that.
If there's a loading bay or something.
Let's
We'll go around the back. It's probably just.
I was just going to say that because breaking from the front door, given on the main street.
Nobody would expect it.
That's right.
But a lot of people would see it.
And what would they do? Oh, it's people going in the building.
I'm not
No,
sure.
we'll go
Mind
the
your
back.
business, imbecile.
Late afternoon, 1920s. Most of them will be at dinner.
Okay.
So now we'll go around the back.
Yeah.
Okay, make me spot hidden rolls.
Ooh. Here I go. Here I go.
I
No.
pass.
Yay.
Failed.
I have insane spot hidden, and I only ever just scrape through this character. Like, it's a pre-gen, but it was like the perfect Cthulhu character. Had 78 spot hidden. Most of the time, I fail. It's just.
Winston?
But I pass.
Winston, no. Pranit, no.
My 70
failed badly.
All right.
spot hidden is no match for my dice.
Okay. So, I wonder if this is maybe from previous experience, Françoise. You kind of you scoot round. You have to duck down a little bit when you think you see somebody inside, but it doesn't appear to be a police officer, maybe a cleaner of sorts, but they haven't like noticed you. They're kind of far into the building. But when you get round to the back, it's definitely a loading bay of sorts. Like there's some big sliding gates at the back, large sort of area where you think maybe trucks could come in. But in particular, you see there is a single back door, kind of like the front in that you go up some steps, but not as glamorous. But there is also a coal chute.
Interesting. We'll try the door first because it might well be unlocked. But before we go in, it might be worth just peering into the coal chute, just see if it is actually got coal in or if it is a way in.
All right. So you have a look down. It definitely smells of coal. It's not kind of massive like the one was back at Misr House. So maybe it's used a bit less regularly.
I have a lot of use in it.
Well, let's try the door first anyway, because so you will try the door because we are supposed to be here. Gavigan has sent us. Said it is okay. So
this door's also locked, although given this door is just a single door, a lot more kind of basic looking than the front doors, this would be a lot easier to either break down or break in through.
can anyone pick the lock? What skill would that even be?
That's
No.
locksmith.
No.
I can pick it by breaking it.
Would be a bit obvious. Perhaps we should go through the coal chute.
Yeah, how big's the coal chute? Is it wide enough to get in?
You think maybe the
Would we
slimmer
get-
of you could get in?
Oh, right, okay. Okay, then we break the door.
The smallest.
Probably Françoise.
Let us break the door.
If we are comparing sizes, I'm 80.
Yeah, it's definitely not you.
I'm 60.
55. But no, let us not do this way.
70.
You want to be careful for burglar alarms as well.
Burglar
Well,
alarms.
I was more thinking one person, if they were able to go down the coal shaft and then
And open the door for the others.
the inside. Let the other three in.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't
then I
fit
will
there.
sneak in and try to open the door from the inside without a key. I'm sure it'll work.
Still, you get more
Up
chancing
to
of finding said key inside of the foundation than
It
outside.
could be on the
Because I
inside.
am so lucky. Okay. I go down the coal
You
chute.
go to ice, though.
Okay, cool. Are you just kind of gonna slide down and hope that you land nice and softly?
Hang down? And
Yeah.
then drop?
Make me a climb roll.
Head first, Françoise.
Oh dear. Oh, I only failed by 9.
Okay. Where's it gone? Okay. So you take 2 damage. It's definitely a bumpy landing. You kind of drop a bit, tumble down, and then you land in a
Stupid
heap.
fucking architect.
Let's see. You're kind of it's a large coal store in here. Pretty dark as well. All you've got is the kind of the bleed of the light from above you.
Right. All we need now is for the door to be locked.
It's very quiet in here. You don't know if there's anybody on this floor, but you've definitely gone down to a basement of sorts.
Okay, find the door.
Yeah, you're kind of stumbling around a bit. Eventually, you almost kind of miss it because it's dark, but you kind of feel like a wall of sorts just come up to your chest that you kind of have to step over. And then you can kind of smell like burning of sorts, almost like
I'll
something's been
strike
burning in here.
I'll strike a match to get some light.
Strike a matchy wetchy. Okay.
Whole place.
What does it not say?
The whole
I'm just trying to
basement
find
fills
that
up with
specific
gas and you blow up.
No, it's fine. I just want to see if there's anything specific about this room, but I can't remember.
The gas.
I'm gonna say no. You're in some kind of large, maybe like a furnace room, you think. But you do notice that there is a door of sorts behind you, and maybe even a lift. There's also another door, kind of to your left, like 10 o'clock sort of left.
Okay, well, I'm going to look through that first because it's the basement we wanted to get to. So actually, just seeing if it's worthwhile is a good start, I think.
Yeah, okay. It looks to be like a storage room of sorts. You can't really see anything much in here at all. It looks a little dusty, but not really much actually in the storage room at all. But if you want, you could give me a spot hidden.
That is for once, decent roll. Hard pass.
Right, okay. It definitely smells more of burning here, but interestingly, more kind of candle burning rather than like coal or something like that. You also think you can see at the back, there's almost like a basically it's made up of sort of wooden boards for the wall, and you think one of them just looks slightly off in color than the others.
Okay, so the first thing to do is make a beeline for wherever it smells of candles to grab one and get some decent light.
Okay.
Before I run out of matches.
Okay. You can't actually see any candles in this room, but you stumble towards like where the smell is coming from. And that board that I mentioned, as soon as you put your hand on it, it almost kind of slides to one side.
Right.
And then you get this huge whiff of candle burning coming from another room behind. So you do find some candles and you light them.
Okay, yep.
And yeah, it's another large room which appears to be more for storage. It looks like, in particular, that there's more dust in this room, but things appear to have been moved around recently. There's sort of almost like paths where the dust has moved and things like that. There's a couple more things in here, though. There's a desk.
Yeah,
there's a couple of
the
crates.
papers to find out what was in here.
Okay. Okay, so in the desk you find a revolver, a .32 revolver, some bullets. There's a few there's a few false passports actually in here, all with Gavigan's face in. There's a load of money as well in here, £5 and £10 notes, and there's also a stout metal box containing some paperwork of sorts.
Right, so stuff all the paperwork. I want the passports as well because I'm going to give that to the inspector. I've loaded the gun already, and the money is never seen again.
Okay.
That'll help my hotel bills. Did you say there was another room off here? There was crates, wasn't there?
There were a couple of small crates, or smallish crates, yeah.
Let's have a look at those.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really anything particularly exciting, but it does seem to possibly be more of these sort of aforementioned taller crates that came in here. Let me just have a look. Okay, so there's a crate that contains some sort of ornate chest. It's fashioned in sort of carved sandalwood. There's sort of strange silver depictions of rather odd-looking creatures, including a cross between, you think, an ape and a lizard. Its arms are unnaturally long or extended.
Okay. And when you say
Inside-
chest, are you talking a small thing or a big?
Yeah, sort of smallish, yeah.
Okay.
Inside this chest, there are 2 ornate silver daggers.
Okay. Well, I'll take that for now.
You also find some more books and tomes in here.
Okay. Discard the chest because it'll be a bit big. I'll just take the daggers. The books and tomes.
Yep, one of them is the Equinox Divise.
Definitely grabbing that.
There's also a couple that you notice. There's the Book of Xian and the Liber Ivonis.
Okay. Right. Bundling all this up, I will make my way back to the coal chute.
Okay. Bear in mind there was also that other door.
Yeah, but I've got to get this stuff out.
Okay. Fine.
So the books I'll actually just throw up through the chute.
Okay. That takes you a bit by surprise.
I'll keep the daggers and the gun on me for now. I'll
I
toss.
just imagine Winston just leaning in.
Yeah,
Françoise, are you okay? Dillon is here.
that's why I went like that.
It's about time you had the major wound too.
In there.
In this view.
That.
Yeah, so no, I tossed the books up. I'm also going to toss up the passports. These need to go to Barrington if I don't make it out of here. Also,
Do you
I
need
need
any
you to
help?
find
in here?
some ropes so I can climb out soon. There is one more room to check, but I cannot. I'm not going upstairs to the building with people around. I'm just going to have a look. I've already searched it, so it is. I checked this last room, and I'll let you know.
Would we have brought rope? Because we knew we were coming to do this. We would have come a little bit prepared, wouldn't we?
This is the second time I think you've said this.
Well,
We would have.
if we'd have come that prepared, we'd have had torches, but there was rope in that utility room, wasn't there?
There was,
So
yes, there was.
Arguably,
So-
we could have grabbed it or something.
Sure.
Tell you what, I'll make a luck roll. No. But no, it's just rope, ladder. There'll be chimney sweepers around. Buy their ladder for an obscene amount of money or something. Right, I'm gonna go and investigate this last door.
Okay. Cutely mooly. It's a bit of a strange door because when you try it, it doesn't open as you would expect it to, like sort of outwards or inwards. It just kind of again slides a bit, and you kind of go up this rather steep wooden stairwell, and then there's nothing. There's just like something, not a trap door, something else though, kind of covering up above. You sort of feel around a little bit, and you put your hand on some sort of lever.
Okay, let's give it a yank. See where it comes out.
You give it a yank. What a
Braden,
tug.
we are into Penhew Foundation, if you're asking.
I'm reverse braking.
Yeah, and Françoise is doing her best.
She's
So
doing her best.
It's the last time we see Françoise.
You hear the sound of some sort of mechanism whirring, and this whatever it is sort of sliding past. Again, you sort of smell dust, but yeah, you kind of have to kind of step out as opposed to just walk or walk out, and you realize that you're actually stepping out of a sarcophagus.
Nice.
Again, pretty dark in here. Do you light another match?
candles. I've got candles now.
Oh yeah, of course you do. Yeah, that's right. It's another big storeroom, bit bigger actually than the one down below, and lots of crates in here. The sarcophagus that you came out of, it's not in very good shape at all. In fact, thinking about it, it was probably just sort of tossed in here, maybe for later. But interestingly, you can't quite see where the door is to this room because it's just blocked by crates. So if you'd have come in from the actual door, you wouldn't have seen this. You could try the door, but you also notice that, again, with the dust, there is some sort of path, shall we say, that has obviously been used where the dust is no longer there, that kind of goes to some sort of panel or like a wardrobe maybe on the wall opposite you.
Okay, let's have a look at that.
Okay.
I think I'm coming like from the loot area back through the secret door into the dungeon.
Surprise! Yeah, you're going all the way back to Misr House. It's a secret passage. Okay, make me a spot hidden roll.
Oh, it's that behind my coffee cup. No.
Okay.
Usual luck with spot hidden returns.
Yeah, maybe someone just uses the wardrobe a lot, although there's nothing in there, like no items, not even any clothes.
It has to be a latch or a button or a twist of rail or something.
You could push the roll if you want.
Yeah. That is a
Do it.
pass.
Woo!
You.
Okay, yeah, because so you think, okay, it must be a mechanism somewhere. So you carefully feel, on every kind of surface there is, and yes, you do come across a small latch that you pull out, and it does indeed slide, and you find yourself in Gavigan's office. Although this is the first time that you've been in there.
Yeah, but I heard about the safe being open, so I'll go straight to it.
Yeah, the safe is still ajar, but there's no money in it.
Bollocks. Okay, I'll start searching for papers.
Okay, yeah. Basically, there's not that much in here, but there is his desk, of course, and there are various drawers and so on. And yeah, you do find a couple of things. Firstly, there's a photograph actually on the desk, which appears to be of Misr House. It is a telegram. You find a telegram. Where is the handout? Is it that one? Yes, it is that one. No. This is dated the 6th of November 1924, paid in full in Cairo, Egypt. It says, November 6, 1924, Giza dig well, stop. All as planned, stop. Work apace at Miss Serenus, stop. Thank you for your assistance, most helpful, stop. Dr. H. Clive.
Miss Arenas.
I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Miss Arenas. Okay, so that's presumably the name of a dig site where they've looted some stuff. Right. Dr. H. Clive will be some kind of adversary.
Was Clive part of the Carlisle expedition?
Nope. Although Winston has heard of this Dr. Clive.
Has he?
Yes, he has.
Seriously? Are you sure?
Henry Clive. Gavigan.
Oh, yes. Currently the dig in Cairo.
Where is it?
The expedition near the Giza Plateau.
My guess is it's my Serenus, but importantly, he's a bad guy.
You also find this Ernest Whitfield and Co. receipt. Custom cast iron safety deposit boxes and safes. Our diligence is your security. So it talks about there's like a safe, which presumably is the one in this room, but you also find, which maybe changes your mind a bit about what safe this is, delivered and fitted Henson Manufacturing in Derby.
Hence, we've come across that name before.
Yeah, in the ledgers.
There's a factory in Derby. They've been delivering parts there from Australia and blueprints.
Oh.
It was in the
yes.
At Misr House.
Yes, I put googly eyes on it to tell me that was something I wanted to investigate.
Well, that was helpful.
I've done that on the corkboard. I've put googly eyes on all the things that are basically relevant and active. Okay. I think we're going there next.
Is it dated in 1922?
No, March the 13th. Oh, yeah, beg your pardon. Sorry, 1922. Yeah, March 13th.
So, is there any reference to the code, or is there? Has he got like a stack of books, and maybe there's an old manual for it or something?
No, there's not really any books in here.
Okay.
What was the date? Actual current date now?
The date now is Sunday, the 22nd of February, 1925.
Okay, so the Giza telegram is like 4 months old then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's pretty much all we can do here, isn't it? So, I think the safest thing to do is to go back out the way I came in, as opposed to walking through the house. So hopefully they have sorted out some way of rope or a ladder by now. Otherwise, I will just have to explain to them how there's 3 of them with one simple task. So I start making my way back.
Okay. How do you make your way back exactly?
Reverse my steps,
So you go
back
up the coal chute sort of thing.
Yeah. That's the plan. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Just checking. You do. Presumably they've got you some rope.
Rope or a ladder by now, one would expect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it might be a bit short. I mean, the little couple of inches you got to jump. No.
I don't know where to get a rope from, but a tool shed, we might have to break into that and find something.
How thick is this rope?
Now you're telling me.
No,
Could be used for.
Is it thin enough to tie a couple of knots in?
Yeah.
Right. Tie off a loop at the bottom of it.
Okay.
You're hanging yourself.
As
No, I was thinking a stirrup hold you put your foot in.
Yeah.
But by the way, Françoise, as you're walking back through that, I call it the furnace room. Now you've got a candle, you can see a lot better. You can actually see some paintings that are kind of on display, almost a bit like a gallery of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also see that there's again been more stuff moved around, in particular to, you think, this lift on the opposite end of the wall, like large things.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's how the stuff's come through here. The pictures, I shall take out one of the silver daggers and I shall slash them all.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I'll have a look at what they are first. I assume it's all Black Pharaoh related.
Not necessarily all Black Pharaoh, but they all appear to be rather horrific-looking entities of sorts. You could make me a Cthulhu Mythos roll if you wanted.
Yes, I think I will. Not far off, but no.
Okay. They're all
So yeah,
kind of
I'll just slash them.
Monsters.
If there's one of the Black Pharaoh, I shall spit in it first, then slash it.
Interestingly, no, there isn't.
Guess they already knew what you looked like. Okay, yeah, and then make my way out.
Yeah.
Bring the guys up to speed. Keeping the gun, but I'll hand over the knives to Perry.
Okay. She hands you these rather ornate silver daggers.
First thing I do is I've got to find a handkerchief.
Okay. Do you not just carry one around you?
Yeah, and hand it to Françoise.
But do I have a grully? Oh my god, we didn't know to say
you-
this
you-
earlier.
She's been down a coal chute and back up. She's going to look like a bloody chimney sweep unless you.
Yes,
She's gonna be covered
this is
in
why
coal.
I'm going to the hotel. I take a bath, I check out, and then we go to Derby. What can it be?
I was thinking more in the immediate.
What?
How dare you?
Yes, I look a bit shit. Big deal. I've just been done stuff you couldn't do. What
Well, it's
you
not that we
expecting?
couldn't. It's not that we couldn't do it. It's just that we wanted you to do it.
You wanted it done properly.
You see,
I do believe that
Just stop talking, Winston.
if no cultist or monster manage to kill Winston or Françoise, they're going to kill each other.
Yeah.
So,
That's
to
all
Savoy.
going to happen.
To the
And
Savoy.
then I will check after our bath and a change of clothes. I will check out the Savoy, using Gavigan's money.
Sure.
I'm then going to go to see Barrington and hand him these passports. Say he was up to no good. Look,
Ah, so I see.
some kind of spy for a foreign country, perhaps. He should be hanged.
Well, we'll have to see.
I mean, this is the evidence. Thought you might like it.
absolutely. I mean,
It's certainly raising even more questions than I had previously since your little escapade.
Told you, I get things done. Not like Winston.
That is a very oversimplified way of putting it.
yes, it's a very oversimplified way of putting it.
Nevertheless, thank you for bringing these to my attention. They'll be added to the mountain of evidence I have to go through.
Winston and Françoise. No cult can kill them because they're too busy killing each other.
And once that's done, I'm ready to head off. So over to you guys.
Right.
Yeah, I suppose we better get back to the hotel and pack ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have a double check to see if Gavigan is lurking in the dining room, but he isn't.
No.
We'll order a taxi, I suppose, and swing by to pick up Françoise.
Yes,
We've gone by train or car.
Train, I think.
I think train.
You find that it's going from London St Pancras.
Okay.
Then St Pancras we go.
St Pancras, you go.
Yeah.
Do
I get
you-
a couple of clothes from my house
Okay, cool.
beside my equipment.
Do you eat beforehand?
Sure, eat, buy a pair of gloves.
Buy another 32 Otto.
What, to go with the one that Françoise acquired?
No,
are you-
it get flipping. It
Taken
get flipping taken when
Oh,
I had it.
sorry.
I had it with me when Shafik entered
Yes,
the
yeah,
room.
yeah. No, I was thinking about the one that Françoise just got, but ignore me because you said you were hanging on to it anyway, weren't you?
Did we get our shotguns back?
Yeah, we got shotguns. Haven't we?
And buying
I fired
clips.
one.
We got disarmed in the cells when we got locked up.
Oh,
Yes, you did.
Did we
You
get?
didn't see any shotguns when you were skulking around.
Because we specifically bought them for this trip, didn't we?
Yeah. Buying clips for the gun as well,
Okay.
because,
I think we might need to go pick up shotguns again.
I mean, you do have some scepters.
Yes, and they're lovely, but they don't fit in the ammo clip of a 32 auto.
I thought you were going to say fit in the suitcase. It's like they probably would fit in a suitcase. So, anyway. Yes, so you say goodbye to merry old London. And
For
you
now.
head back up. Well, I was going to say up north, but then Misr House isn't really up north, is it? It takes another couple of hours to get up to Derby. So by that point, it's very much dark. And it's a fairly small station. Nice little town, though.
Hotel.
Although,
Yeah, find lodgings.
Find the nicest hotel in Derby.
yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be an inn rather than a hotel,
Yeah.
so to speak.
But-
I don't know if it gives any actual specifics.
Françoise is not pleased.
No?
And I just want to say, if the
Backward
name,
country.
if the name of the inn is a slaughtered lamb, I'm going back home right now.
No, it's fine. So, of course, it doesn't give one. But I'll say that you find an inn that's it's okay. Obviously, nothing compared to the Savoy or even the Cavendish. But it
How
is.
do I call room service?
Sorry, love. What?
There is no bell. There is no dumbwaiter. How does this work?
I believe you stick your head out the door and shout.
How
Or go
old-fashioned.
downstairs and ask.
Well, you could if you want. Doesn't mean that I'm actually gonna come for you. But breakfast is served at 7. Are you from Paris?
I
Miss?
have been traveler of the world. I've just never been this far from civilization.
Oh right, it sounds proper like you've been in Paris. So, are you wanting rooms or not?
Yes, please.
I'm
I
taking
have your
bets.
nicest suite penthouse.
It's an in, love.
What kind of rooms do you provide, miss?
At that point, I turn around to Françoise and say, "Penthouse. Just be glad that we might get. Just be glad we might get. We don't have to have an outhouse."
Well, we got a couple of working toilets.
Thank God for that.
Couple.
Yeah, cool.
Oh God, they're not en suite. We're using shared bathroom facilities.
Are you lost? Were you looking for London? That's
No, that's
further
where
down
we've
south?
been.
No, I believe that my companions are a little bit too much used for London comforts.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
I guess this is going to be good for them to lay down for a
London
bit.
comforts? London was slumming it.
Paris comforts.
It is a stinky city full of smog and crowded and dirty and homeless people. It is a disgusting place with slums and pits, and the whole place smells like armpit.
Holy
The rest of you
heavens, you've
sort of
never
seeing
been to
some of the,
Mumbai.
some of the patrons kind of looking around at Françoise and they're kind of giggling a bit.
I'm sure you'll survive it, Françoise.
We will take.
Whatever room you have,
Yes.
it's more than enough for us. Thank you.
How many rooms do you have vacant, please?
Let's see. Why were you planning to sleep separately?
Yeah, maybe
Well,
the lady wants a room on her own.
Oh, obviously.
yes, we don't all agree on lots of things, but there's one thing we all agree on. Françoise needs a room on her own.
Well, I could put her up in the top room.
Like
And
I said, the
then
penthouse.
you three gents, two of you would have to share. We're quite full tonight.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That is fine. And you say breakfast is served at 7. That is perfect.
7.
Thank you very much. How much is the rooms, please?
It's
You
2
have to
shillings for
ask.
shared, 4 for the top.
I hand him £20. Payment in advance. We might be here a couple of days.
Yeah, but are you still working in dollars? This is £20, and he kind of hushes it when he realizes that he's being a bit loud.
If I shout from my door, I expect room service.
Well, with this, I suppose we cannot complain.
I sort of I slide
told
the
me
20 to him. I slide the
Yeah.
20 to him and lean over to him and say, consider the extra to be
Compensation.
for stress.
Oh, call it what you will, but remember, you're not in London anymore. You don't want to
That's
be
fine.
flashing that about.
I won't
People
be.
talk.
I just want you to realize that we are all very aware we're not in London. Françoise is very, very, very aware she's not in London, and I think you're going to need that.
Hey, and someone shouts from behind you. Hey, so is he buying the round then? It's like, yeah. So
Françoise, you want to take this?
come on, cowboy, buys the round.
Why
You
not?
brash American
Good luck
flashing
with
your
that.
money.
Why not? Would that money go towards a round for the patrons here?
Oh yeah, of course it will.
Then yes, consider it
sort
a
of
round
stops.
to our lovely new friends. I go to my room. I'm tired and I am needing to pray for the strength
Sure thing.
to
Do the rest of
survive
you-
Derby.
Do the rest of you go straight upstairs, or do you stay down here for a bit?
No, I believe I'm going upstairs to read the Song of the Gene.
Ah.
Yeah, I think we should get a bit of rest. See how injured we are. Or some of us are.
L'Equinox Divises is a French book, right?
Yes.
I should make a start.
Okay. Fair enough. Right. Let's deal with Pranit first. Since there's not actually that much information to give you on this one, but it still may prove useful. It's because it's not in the companion, so it's like a little tiny paragraph as opposed to an enormous paragraph. Can you make me an Arabic roll?
Come on. Don't fail me now. I failed.
Okay. It's going to take you some time. You find very quickly that this is really old. What you do get though is obviously it's in Arabic, but kind of a very old sort of style Arabic by Ghalib al-Sabah. It's got a kind of a smell of sulfur actually, and there's definitely there's like a bronze clasp that holds the book together, but it seems to be bound in a skin, maybe like an animal skin, like goat or something. But it's definitely not the right atmosphere, really, to get the right information out of here. You may need to go somewhere quieter.
All right.
Would you like to make a French roll? Françoise?
French? I don't speak a word.
Yeah, again, it's maybe just retired or something like that. But
Too tight for
you
this.
get that it's by Ghislaine d'Aramitz, maybe a couple of 100 years old. Nice sort of leather binding. It's not like Middle French or like the equivalent of Middle English or anything, but still it's quite sort of flowery and things. But
I'm
given
not
that
taking this in right now.
yeah, the only thing that you do kind of take in is it definitely mentions the bloody tongue, just because you recognize that name. So never
I'll
mind.
stick my head out the door and shout, "Glass of water!"
Okay.
Which leads me to the question: how much are they going to spit in it before they get it to you?
So yeah, they give you a glass of water.
Geez.
It's a bit of a slightly dirty glass. You are then?
I meant drinking water. This is
What's wrong with it?
this is the hygiene standards you practice here?
What are you
Do
talking
you
about? It's
serve
only a bit
food on
dirty.
dirty plates?
Well, we're not in London. We've only
You
got
can still wash a
much.
glass.
Yeah, I did wash it. Look, it's just a bit dirty. Look, okay, fine. Right. And he sort of drinks it and then he wipes it with his apron and goes, there you go. Good of new.
This, if we're hearing this at all, I'm going to suggest the rest of us retire to a minimum safe distance.
Back to London then.
That's
Yes.
I'm sure. I am sure that your manner of presenting the water is perfectly acceptable for normal people.
No, people.
And you're saying you're not normal?
I'm saying we pay you a lot of money, so please put the extra effort in to wash the damn glass for a glass of water.
All right, woman.
How hard can it be?
God, all right. And he kind of heads back downstairs. As he starts heading back down the stairs, the three of you who've kind of gone to a safe distance a little bit, and you're a bit closer, you kind of hear a bit of a shout, like a celebratory shout from downstairs, saying, "For the War Office, for King and all right."
Yeah, I just realised that
For the War Office, you said.
That's what I said, yes. Although it sounds like they were then shushed.
At this point, I'm sharing the room with Winston or Perry.
Yeah, we hadn't decided who was
No,
actually sharing room.
Up to you, I don't mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, the
you
only
think
thing is
you think that
please.
the one who's not sharing with one of you will be with some random stranger, given how full the rooms are.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The thing is that I don't drink alcohol, so it is pointless for me to go downstairs and try to be part of the celebrations.
I mean, neither.
I can do it then.
Yes.
Perry will be drinking himself under the table.
I think under the circumstances, then it'd probably be wise for Pranit and I to share the sober room, and Perry can stumble his way into the other room with whoever.
If I can, I'll creep to the top of the stairs initially, just to have a look, see if I can see down, see what they're doing, and then if I think they see me, I'll walk downstairs.
it's a bit kind of what's the word? You can sort of see down, but the rest of the bar is sort of to your right, out of view. It sounds like people are getting a little bit merry by this point, and there are some that are trying to protest. Yeah, but look, it was a good job we did, and all right, I understand.
Okay, I'll
Top
go
secret.
downstairs.
Let's see, top secret.
I'll go downstairs. Hello, friends.
Oh,
Do you fancy
hello,
a night
cowboy.
cowboy? No, Canadian, not cowboy.
Doesn't matter to us. You're still American.
No, I'm not.
Oh no.
Are you buying as well then?
I'm buying drinks for people.
Hey, and they all kind of do. Hey, I like this. Yeah. Can you bring more of you over?
I
Perry
don't
Perry
want too many of us.
Perry is doing his research for his brand new novel, how to make friends and inebriate people.
Yeah.
So I'll try and keep my ear out to see if I can hear any conversations that's going on.
Okay.
I'll buy a couple of drinks for people.
Mm-hmm. Do you give them to anybody in particular, or do you just sort of pass
Everybody,
them?
I'll buy a couple of rounds for everybody there.
Literally everybody. Okay. Make me a bonus die. Well, actually, maybe a listen roll, but with a bonus die.
Okay. So listen is this was listen. Okay, yes. So that is a hard pass. Wow, first one of the evening.
Given drinks are flowing and stuff, people are still being a bit loud, and they just can't help but spill a little bit. You actually, what I'll say is that somebody kind of near you at the bar, you kind of pass him a drink. He goes, "Top," and then he starts drinking. And he says, "Listen, are you from Canada, right? Is there a king or queen in Canada?"
Not in Canada. No, we've got the same one as you. Same one as you guys.
Oh, right. Wow.
Yeah, we're part of the empire.
That's even better. Well, not to toot my own horn, but some people don't like us talking about it because it's top secret. But we've just done something really good for king and country and your Canada.
Sounds excellent. Well done. I'll slap him on the shoulder.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, something we don't know everything about it, but something to do with the special plans for the War Office.
Special plans for the war.
Building stuff.
Sounds really important.
Yeah. We had a bit of a send off last week.
Well,
and
you completely finished it.
Yeah, all done. We're still drinking in here. Some people are a bit in and out, you know.
Where do you work then?
Well, like I said, we just finished. I don't have any work at the moment for another few weeks. I think I've got somewhere new, but I'm still looking.
Oh, well, where was this built then? This thing.
He sort of looked. All right, since you've got a bit of a charm. It's just outside of town. A place called Henson Manufacturing.
Never heard of them, but well done.
Well, you're not supposed to. It's top secret, isn't it?
Oh, the whole place is top secret. Oh, shh.
Yeah.
Have another drink.
Thank you. we had long hours, to be fair. Although we were nicely paid, good money.
Well,
I don't know if I'll get anything like anything we did before.
Helping the country out and getting paid for it. Can't do better.
Yeah.
Can you?
At that point, as he's kind of talking about the money and stuff, you see somebody else kind of almost deliberately elbow his way to the front, like in between you two, and he looks like really miserable. He's got like a kind of a bit of a beard coming in, not really well kept beard, just kind of stern looking, and he looks towards this guy and says, "Will you shut it?
Hello, friend. Would you like another drink?
I've had enough, thank you."
Oh, guys, early yet. We can have a few more yet before we go to bed.
We've had a lot, so I'm gonna turn in.
Okay, fair enough.
And he kind of does another look and kind of this deliberate pointing of finger, like, "Shut it."
Lucky some people know how to party.
He gives you a bit of a look at that point. Bloody American, telling us what to do. So he kind of storms off a bit. The other guy goes, "He's my boss, so I better not say much more."
Not anymore, he ain't. He's out of work.
Seems to have got a bit of a
Thank you, Sheila. Oh, like I said, he's my boss. He
doesn't
sees
seem
to all
to
the
be
plans.
finished.
He's a bit happier than he normally is.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well,
should last to work for.
I don't usually talk to him really.
I can see why.
Well, I better not say anymore, but I worked in a different part than he did. He had his fancy office upstairs.
Oh, okay. So what do you specialise in? What do you do then?
Mate, I better not say much more. If he finds out that I've been spilling, he'll clobber me, or I'll find it difficult to get work.
What? Not even if you just say you're a welder or a carpenter or
All right. Yeah, okay. I did do a bit of welding. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Never tried that myself.
Yeah, you don't really have the hands for it, if I'm honest. Bit small.
Prefer the outside actually, rather than being inside working. I prefer the outside.
Ah. What? So do you have a ranch? Is that what they're called over there?
Father did. Yeah, father did, but I left and went exploring and spent most of my time in South America.
Oh. Wow, you're a proper explorer then. What are you doing in Derby?
Oh, just got some friends and they were touring the country, so we stopped off in Derby.
Oh. Whereabouts are you headed?
I think we're off to London after this, perhaps, and I don't know, and then off somewhere else.
Oh.
Not decided where yet, but
Well, I think you might like London, although it's not big and open. Up north is nice, though. Got some nice rolling hills, all that.
Yeah. So, how do you ship this thing out then? Was it big?
Say that again, sorry.
This thing you finished, was it big? How did it get shipped out then? Train or car?
He's sort of like, he doesn't really want to say, but can you give me a persuade roll?
Persuade? Probably not. Definitely not.
Yeah. He kind of drinks the rest of his drink and says, "Thanks for the pints, but I better get going too."
Oh, yeah. Good night then, pal. I'll give him another cuff on the back as he leaves.
Yeah, all right. See us.
And I'll go back upstairs if they've all gone now, or is there anyone hanging around?
Yeah, there's a few people still here.
Okay,
maybe 5 or 6.
Might move on to the next one then and try the same sort of trick again. Asking different questions.
Okay. All right. Give me a general social roll, like either charm or persuade, and you can give me a bonus die again for the fact you've been giving them drinks all evening.
Persuade is no good. Fast talk is no good. Okay, charm is probably the best. And I've missed by 6, so I will spend some luck.
Okay. Lucky. So that puts you on 16. Okay, so you get a bit more information. There's definitely a few more welders. There's some others that are kind of more like carpenters, others that you think are manufacturing kind of components for stuff, but it's kind of complicated. Like you don't really know what they're talking about at certain points when they spill. It's all very kind of mechanic talk.
Okay.
And they also talk about the whole send-off thing. They say that the big boss came up and kind of did a little speech and thanked us and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Does he? If I question that route, does it sound like it could be Gavigan with the description? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So once I think the well's dry, I will go back upstairs and tell everybody that it's obviously some mechanical thing with welding, and Gavigan's definitely involved. Convinced him totally that it's something to do for the War Office. So potentially a weapon, isn't it?
Well, it's not a port town. Could it be more of your English tanks? We had French tanks too, of course. Much better.
Could be. Could be.
But I somewhat think it will be some contraption for some nefarious purpose. Maybe they don't even know exactly what it is, because it will be to do with the excavations or something. Some kind of digger, or maybe a bit for a boat, but not a boat.
It definitely sounds big, because there's more than one welder on it, so there's several welders and carpenters, so it sounds quite large.
Maybe it was a ship, but is there a river here?
Well, there is the River Derwent.
Does that go to the coast? I mean, I assume it does, so... Or is it a lake or what? It's a tiny pisspot country, so probably goes to coast.
Hold on a second, I can tell you. River Derwent. It goes up and up and up and up and up and up, and then that way a bit. It definitely eventually ends up at the coast. I believe it ends up at River Mersey, or it might end up at some lakes actually up in the Peak District.
So is this even a navigable river? It does not seem likely to me. You would build it on the coast, like Liverpool or something.
Yeah, if it was going to be, as you say, a big ship, I can't see it being launched on a river.
And it either has a safe, or there is a safe at this factory that we must break into.
If it was going to be big, then it might have gone straight to Liverpool, being the nearest port.
This is true.
Probably by train.
How would you propose we find what boat it is on, and then go, we're looking for something big? It has been welded. Is it on your boat?
We need to visit the factory, don't we?
The factory may have a shipping manifest as to where it went, from where to where.
Do Perry and Pranit speak Spanish? Because it would be good to not always be speaking
Spanish. I've got Spanish.
Do I speak Spanish?
Okay,
Yeah,
so we should
Spanish
talk to
too.
each other in Spanish because we all speak it.
Okay.
Hola, ¿cómo está? ¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Exactly.
Why la biblioteca of all things? Well, I suppose that would be Winston probably asked
Because
that
I don't
question.
speak Spanish.
My Spanish is remedial. I probably learned more from watching. Well, no. From reading flipping Zorro.
Paella.
But that might be a good idea, actually, Françoise, if we do that sort of thing when we're around people.
I mean, see. Yes.
See. Yeah, see. All right.
Okay.
When are you planning to loot the third place?
Well, it's going to have people there, so I wonder if we need to pretend we're from Penhew or pretend we're from the War Office. But we're too foreign, the lot of us, for War Office.
Definitely.
It's either that or we do another night, a nighttime.
Did any of Gavigan's passport? Does the passport have a profession in it? Doesn't, does it?
No.
Our passport do not.
Did they, when they described Gavigan, did the name Gavigan ring a bell? I was just wondering if he was using an alter ego when he was here.
Oh, no, he was using his name.
Okay. So we could go under the premise of a subsequent order for Gavigan. No.
What have we got to prove we're from Gavigan, though?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Well, we have Penhew membership cards.
And a business card as well.
I think quite a few people have a business card.
Yes, but it could be supporting the membership cards.
Very true.
You know, you just card them and say from Penhew. You hold your membership card up. It says Penhew on it. You put it back.
But they might not know he's from the Penhew, though, because they think they're all working for him.
Well, they do, but it is true. It may or may not work.
I think we've got to break in.
Yeah, which means another night raid.
Perhaps we should try the one person goes first, tries the Penhew, and if it fails, we all go as a raid.
Yeah, can do that.
Who are we gonna send?
I'm going to suggest, with all deference, not me, for two reasons. I can't sweet talk my way out of a paper bag, and we're now in the rural English countryside. I have a feeling that my colour may be a bar. I think realistically, either has to be you, Françoise, or Perry.
Yeah.
I think me and Pranit are at a distinct disadvantage.
Yeah, we
due
may
to ethnicity.
Support for you too, but I won't be the face of this endeavor.
Well,
Yeah.
it might be a good idea to have some people on the outside to come and get whoever it is that gets caught. But one or both of us.
Well, you are advantage of being from a country in the English Empire. I am only an ally.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
a recent one at that.
A what, sorry?
And a recent one at that. It was only the 20th century where France and England were actually nice to each other. Up until then, they were kicking lumps out of each other for centuries.
That's true.
Oh, we still got to fight them in the form of the Vichy French, though, in Africa. So, you know. We've maintained our record of fighting the French every century and winning a war against them in every century since the birth of Christ. The only exception is the 100 Years' War, which spanned an entire century. We didn't actually win a war in that century, but we did, of course, win that war.
Well, it was more a case of England were winning at half time. The full time result turned into a narrow French victory. but they certainly were ahead. They were certainly ahead at half time, which I would call the Battle of Agincourt. Because the second half is Joan of Arc, and then
killed her. Or did they kill her? I thought it was English that killed her.
no, the French, the French killed her, but that the English were kind of behind it in their own way. But they kind of killed her. It was a case of she'd got the French pretty much home, and then the French decided, well, served your purpose, can't have you hanging about, nice loose end, let's burn her.
Yeah, fair enough. Right. Anyway, brief diversion into history over. So I think you are best placed, Perry.
Yeah. Once I sleep off this whiskey and a good night's sleep, I'll be straight around there tomorrow morning.
Oh dear. Okay. So you're going to wait till the morning to do it, yeah?
No.
Well, yeah, I'm going to go in and see if I can do it by bluffing first.
So just you. Okay. Not a problem.
If we can get it that way, great.
I mean, I could go as your secretary, be Creole if you want to back up.
Yeah, you could do, yeah.
There are French-speaking Canadians after all.
There are, certainly.
There are, yes.
And you've got a gun,
fit.
which is a bonus.
If you want to take the gun, you can have the gun. I mean, you're going on a mission, so if you feel you need it.
Well, I mean, if you come with me as a secretary, then you can bring the gun.
Because we need to find out what they built and where it's going. Ultimately, if it's going overseas, where it's leaving from, when it left.
I have an idea. What if we have been sent by the Penhew Foundation because it has been damaged in transit and we have to build it again?
I was thinking of going around there and just saying that Gavigan set us up to collect all the paperwork to ensure it gets destroyed.
Oh, he wants to oversee it personally.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Like that. I think that could work.
Collect everything to do with the project.
That could work.
Okay. Interesting angle.
I like it.
I like it.
And I want to see when we get to the factory if it's one of those old factories with like what's it called, Hanson, whatever, and then proprietor underneath.
Oh, okay. Now that it is the Monday, 23rd of February, Winston, you get 1 more HP back, bringing you up to 10. Pranit, you're on max, so you're fine. And the other
That'll do nicely.
As you're finishing up, I know, I'm sorry. As you're finishing up your, well, maybe not even finishing up breakfast, but kind of starting to leave for the day, Perry, you see the miserable guy come in again, and he sort of orders a pint.
Wow. You started early.
What?
Started.
We're not.
Put my hand up.
We're not working. Marshall.
Harry Astor.
Let me get an NPC up for you.
Oh, it's shit. What if he recognizes you if he still works there? Find out if he still works there. Oops, I didn't say that. It was totally meta.
Incredibly meta. How dare you?
Sorry, I was thinking and reacting, and then, yeah.
Nice to meet you, Frank. Let me get that for you.
Very kind.
So, not working then? What's the problem?
Well, I'm sure the others divulged a bit, but we've just finished working our project, so we're just looking for more.
You're looking for more work now, eh? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, good luck on that.
Until then, there's not really much to do up here, except drink.
So yeah, so you don't work for Hudson anymore then?
No,
Okay. What's the boss like?
nobody does. Nobody does. It doesn't exist anymore.
The whole place shut.
Yeah, we're shut up. We're done.
Oh wow! I just thought you'd finished this one job and.
No.
Oh, okay. Wow.
How come you're so interested anyway?
Oh, I'm interested in a lot of things.
Doesn't answer my question.
I was just talking to a friend there last night about it, and it was seeming quite an interesting project.
Bit of a funny thing for a tourist to be worried about, though.
I'm not worried about it. I'm just interested. You know, I mean, this is the workshop of the world, after all.
Yeah, I suppose you could say that.
Well, I was interested in the trains they build up north. Been on a few. They're all throughout South America.
Mm.
How comes this shut the factory though? It doesn't sound right. That doesn't.
It's none of your concern, is it?
I'm concerned for people that lose their jobs. That's terrible.
It was their choice to work. A job's a job. It gets done. Manufacturing. Things get built. Once they're built, you don't manufacture them anymore, do you?
No, but usually you're going to make something else and then shut the whole company.
It's not up to me.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. You can make me a psychology roll if you want to, and Perry. There. Perry, yes, Perry.
Ooh.
Hamster.
On a big success, you get to know
Hamster.
that this person is an ass.
24. I've made it by 1.
Yes, this person is an arse. Yeah, he's definitely keeping his cards close to his chest.
No kidding.
No shit.
No shit, Sherlock.
So I'll go back and I'll tell the others that I think our plan to go along and pretend to be from Penhew is a bit pointless as there's no one there anymore.
Then it just turn up on Fuzz. If there is someone there, we'll try it if we have to. But
We might go in and find some rubbish lying around. We might be able to get some information from.
it is hard to believe the old place would have no one there and all be shut up and bought it. I mean,
They
surely
might,
someone still owns it and is doing something with it.
they might have a watchman on guard, perhaps, an old guy.
Yeah, that's possible.
Fine, stick a gun into his back and say, "Don't say a word." Let's just go and get the lay of the land and
Yeah, sounds like the place is completely empty though. So I think the best we can hope for is some scraps of paperwork.
we won't find out anything set here.
Verdus. I thought I found a bit more information, but never mind. Okay. Right, let me get rid of him. Okay. So it's a few miles out of the town. Obviously a bit of a walk, or you could take a taxi, something like that.
Can I check that Frank isn't following us?
Sure. Give me a spot hidden.
Are we all doing that, or was it just Perry?
6:26.
You can all do it if you want.
Okay. So pass.
All 4 of us going. I thought it was just Françoise and Perry. that
Oh,
were
of course
going.
it is. Sorry, I beg your pardon. In that case, it would be just Perry and Françoise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pass.
Well, my
Okay.
exceptional spot hidden has again failed.
Yeah. Well, his is a terrible fail. So you see him quite clear as day because he's wearing just kind of quite a patterned shirt, and it kind of sticks out a bit, I guess. But yeah, he's definitely kind of watching you leave.
Okay. But is he following us on the route to the factory?
Well, not immediately so, but then eventually you do start seeing a car following.
We've got someone tracking us. It's probably that Frank guy.
Okay, if it is, perhaps we say hello with the pistol. Just give him a bit of a scare. Or maybe he would think that we are spies and go get the police, and then we lose our gun. No, I don't like that at all. Terrible idea. What else was on the road when we looked at the map?
It's pretty much a single road. There's a couple of places that it turns off, but they're completely off direction of where you need to be going.
Okay, well,
So it's just
we'll
kind of
turn down the first
single
one,
road
wait for him
down
to
to
go
me.
past, and
Make
go
it-
across the field.
Just to make it look like we're going somewhere else.
Oui.
Okay. All right. So it doesn't take you long before you can see like another turning, so you turn off. He seems to slow down a little bit, but then he starts following you.
Okay. And then just go rambling across the field. We are just out for a walk, right?
I think we just pull over and get out and
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll just walk through a field.
Yeah.
Good
fine,
luck
fine.
following us.
Okay. He sort of again slows down a bit, but then he carries on when he sees that you're kind of going off for a walk.
There we go. And then when we're across the field, we'll go across another one, and then work our way back to the road.
And then make your way back round to Henson Manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Let me just. Okay. When you arrive, can you make me a spot hidden roll, please?
I passed for once. It's not just a pass. It's a hard pass.
Okay. You pull up outside. There's a big set of gates that are all kind of chained up. Although it was quite tricky, you wouldn't have seen this unless you were maybe looking in that direction, Françoise. But you can see that there's like a little gate to a field just before Henson Manufacturing, where this car that was following you appears to have parked.
I think we should go and have a chat with him. Ask him for a lift back to town because we got lost. Pretend we don't know we're going here. We'll just have to put it off because we don't want him to know we're... do we care? I mean, he wants to protect his secret. He thinks he's doing it for his country, so he could get violent.
Yeah.
He's already rumbled us, so let us pretend we got lost and ask him if he would give us a lift back to town. And then he will see that we have got all the way here and actually turned around because this is not where we wanted to be.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
And then we'll have to do it again. We'll have to get a car next time. Hello, excuse me, sir.
And he kind of sees Perry in particular.
We have got ourselves a little lost. I was hoping perhaps if you were heading to Derby, you could drive us. If you're going that way, perhaps we could catch a ride.
I'm busy.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Busy.
Could you tell us which way is Derby? Sorry,
It's that way.
That is that way. Okay. Merci. We'll just have to walk off that way.
Yeah. Can we walk off and while we're walking off, suss the place out? If there's any other ways in?
Yes, you
Maybe
can.
chase the point for later on.
Yeah. So as you walk past, I know that you were asking about a kind of a placard and whatever. It just attends to manufacturing, but you notice that a name has been kind of painted over, which was Arthur Henson.
Arthur Henson.
Have we come across that name before?
I didn't get what you said. Arthur Hansen was paint over Astor Manufacturing, or the other way around?
Yeah. So presumably his name would have been painted in, I don't know, white or something, but it matches the color of the background of the placard, so black.
All right.
If that makes sense. So you can just see Henson Manufacturing, and then his name has been painted, in the border or the background color.
Arthur what?
So that's a sign.
No.
It says Henson
The name again.
Oh,
Was Arthur
Arthur Henson.
Hansen. All right.
Yeah.
Yes. Can we see any other ways in as we walk on?
Yes. So, yeah, there is potentially a way round the back, like a smaller gateway.
Is it worth trying that now, or should we do it till later?
He is watching us right now. We have to lose him first somehow.
Okay.
He would not give us a ride back to Derby. He wants to sit here and watch us, so it would be dangerous to enter now.
Yeah, so we've got to walk back to the car.
Because don't forget, he thinks he's doing this for his country. He thinks he's being a hero. And he's actually been misled by a cult, but try explaining that to a fanatic.
Okay. So you're heading back to Derby?
Yeah.
We'll start walking back to Derby, yeah.
Okay. How far
Does
do you
he-
walk?
All the way back to Derby if we have to. Does it go past us?
Yes, eventually. But you've gone up the road for about 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll keep walking for a bit then. Does he come back past? After another 15 minutes?
He does. He doesn't quit, this guy.
Thought so.
Okay.
He needs to see us in. What we need to do is we need Pranit and Winston to run interference or vice versa. So we need to go back to town. He needs to see us in Derby, and then we all need to head off in different directions.
Or can we
But then he's going to just park up outside again, isn't he?
do we walk past a pub and whip in for a drink and make a phone call?
Well, I mean, Pranit and I could be hanging around the sort of front and sort of looking as if we're looking at the architecture and maybe, making notes and so on. And basically, he can keep his eye on us, and you two can nip round the back of the factory building and try and get in that way.
He needs
run literal interference. But the only way that works is if Pranit and I go there ourselves and we're not seen with you.
I think probably it'd be better for us to be a distraction for you guys, because obviously he's following us.
Yeah. No, that would make sense.
We can just draw them away so easily now.
Or
And
we
if you
make
could-
two groups. For example, Françoise and Winston, me and Perry, and see who of us follows. So split the two of you.
He'll follow Perry. If if me and Perry split, he'll follow Perry because that is who he is most suspicious of. But then he'll park up outside his factory.
Yeah, he will, yeah.
So we need to approach the factory itself from a different direction. We need a car.
Most definitely.
Is there anywhere we can rent or buy a car in Derby? He had one, so it must be possible.
Yeah, there is a small garage.
Okay. Can we rent or do we have to buy?
Yeah, you can rent.
Okay. I'll use Gavigan's money.
Would
Fair,
seem
fair.
appropriate in the circumstances.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Okay. Can we rent 2 cars?
Yes, one just pulls in after a test drive.
Excellent. I'll rent that one also.
All right.
You could drive, can't
Somewhere
you,
nice?
Winston? Yes, we're going to go and see your lakes and your castles. And also, this is the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution. It is amazing how this place is so pretty when it has made the rest of the world so shit. I want to see it with my own eyes. How did you pull this off?
I don't know, love. I just do the cars.
Do you not know that you are so close to where the Industrial Revolution began?
You don't
Yeah.
even speak French. Are you complaining about someone not knowing history of this country?
Trust me,
History of the world with the Industrial Revolution, no?
No. My grandmother used to tell me stories about the French Revolution.
trust me, there is a running theme in England that if you want to find out about English history, ask someone who doesn't live there.
Oh, somebody got conquered by them.
Yeah.
Okay, so with 2 cars, we can each head out of Derby on completely the wrong road and work our way around in 2 groups.
Okay.
So the question is,
you should tell us a little bit about the general location of this manufacturing,
Yeah.
because
Well, we got an
I
A to
have
Z.
absolutely
Yeah.
no idea.
Getting an A to Z map or road map is no biggie, right? You can just
No, that's
buy
fine.
them, so.
No biggie.
In
So-
fact, the A to Z map is absolutely essential. Because part of running interference is we can always, whoever he ends up following, we can always stop and go out and be looking at a map and sort of going, and trying to look like tourists who are completely fucking lost.
Yeah. So I suggest. I drive. Winston drives. We are both the drivers, right?
Mhm.
Probably best to keep you 2 hidden for now from him. So I will stay with Perry.
Yeah.
And I'll come with you, Winston.
And I think perhaps we should flash Perry to him. Make him follow us somewhere in totally the wrong direction. Worse, better, we'll go in the direction of the factory, but we just go straight past the road it's on and keep going. So we drag him right out the way. Well, no, even better, we circle around the roads around the factory so that he keeps following us whilst you go directly to the factory 5 minutes behind us.
Because you're right, because if he sees us going the opposite direction, he's just
Actually, no. When you approach the factory, slow down.
Oh god.
Slow down, because then he'll go, right, I'm going to keep an eye on you, and then you drive off. Because if you just drive straight through without stopping, he's going to think, just passing through. But if you slow down deliberately, he's going to that should
And
sort
then
of
we
pique his
take the
interest.
first left, and the first left, and the first left, and the first left, and then the first.
Yeah.
So that is what we do.
God. And then the
We
other
drive
two
past him.
make their way there.
Yeah, we drive past him. Assume he's going to follow, and then we'll do exactly that, and we'll just sort of circle the factory circle the roads around the factory, keeping all within the area so that he follows us, slowing up erratically. And then 5 minutes behind us, Winston and Pranit will set off.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't really see how he's going to think that you've coordinated that, because that it is comically clever in a way. And yeah, there is a way to loop around. It's quite a big loop as well. It's like a big sort of rectangular field. So yeah, that could work. No problem. As long as you get the timing right. So Winston's driving the other car, right, with Pranit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So just for timing's sake, Winston, can you give me a driving roll, please? And actually, Françoise, can you as well?
Oops, I might have bumped into something. Hang on. Yep.
I'm going to use my bonus. that I'm going to spend 5 points
to
get that down to a pass.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I failed, so I mean, if we both failed, I'd have probably bumped into you.
Yeah. So basically, Françoise, you do kind of deliberately slow up, and then you go on, but then you do kind of bump into something, and you suddenly think, "Oh crap, is that like a flat tire?" So you slow down a bit more than you anticipated. Fortunately, Winston sees just in the distance that Marshall is slowing down himself a little bit, so you manage to kind of keep back, and then you head on up.
Okay.
And yes, you get to Henson Manufacturing, which, as I explained with the placard, Arthur's name has been just painted over.
Okay.
And yeah, it's like a big gate padlock. There's a big wall. There's a couple of different buildings, like smaller buildings as well as this wall.
Park the car slightly off, so it's
Yeah.
not immediately visible. Should he return?
Yeah, there's a couple of ways through. You could maybe even park the other side, you think?
Yeah.
How tall is the wall?
You think maybe 10 feet.
Yeah, it's going to be a classic Victorian factory wall, isn't it? I'm almost looking for a ground floor window.
I mean, all the buildings are inside this wall. There is a smaller gate a bit further round, and that's probably the only place where you can scale up, because obviously it's not a 10-foot gate.
No, we'll go with the gate.
But you may need to do the whole tuck and roll thing, or whatever it was you called it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do believe I will help him to get across.
Okay. Can you give me a strength roll, Pranit? Although I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine at doing that.
I don't recall my value though. All right.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a pass.
Okay. So, yeah, you get Winston over, no problem. Are you going to hop over yourself as well?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, all right, that's fine.
Is that a strength roll or a crime roll?
You don't need to make another roll.
All right.
You passed that one, so I'm fine with that. So, yeah, you get in. The closest building to you, it's kind of long and goes back to the back wall. Looks like some sort of large shed. There's another building further to your right, which looks a bit like a workshop of sorts, and there's two other smaller buildings behind that one.
Check the two smaller ones first.
Okie dokie.
Because I'm most. I mean, I'm assuming the workshop. I mean, the office might be in the workshop, but it's the office we need.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, there's a couple of water closets and a wooden shed, which are these sort of smaller ones. There's a simple kind of open and close bolts. There's a few like gardening tools and shovels and stuff in there, but definitely no office.
Okay, go to that long building that stretched all the way across the wall.
The long building, the one next to the small buildings, or back where you were?
Back where we were.
Okay. It's like the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire question. This. Okay. Which one is okay? Fine. Okay, so basically, yeah, it is quite easy to get in because you realize that this part isn't locked up at all. You can see like little scraps of just paper on the floor, nothing with anything on. It just appears to be loose paper. It looks like pretty deserted, this place.
Yeah.
It seems to be some kind of large furnace. You can see these sort of big industrial ovens on the far wall. You can obviously smell coal as well and things. There's various sort of stacks where they would put coal, workbenches, sort of sawdust on them and things. Let's see. Yeah, you do notice a couple of loose labels though, and handout for you. If I can find it. It's simply just a shipping label. But yeah, it's just kind of been dropped, you think, on the floor.
Okay.
All right.
Pocket that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where one of the crates was going. Yeah,
Oh,
24-inch statuette of the Father of Serpents to Houston at Randolph Shipping in Darwin, Australia. We found that in the basement.
yeah. Going to any sign of an office in this building?
Not in here, no.
Okay, check the other building.
All right. So in the workshop, it definitely looks more like there could be an office. There's like an upper floor in here.
Yeah, head to it.
Head straight to the office. Okay. Once again, it's deserted. It's obviously pretty much everything has been taken out. This safe that was on that receipt slip that Françoise found in Gavigan's office is still there, and it's a big friggin' safe. But there's nothing in it. There's two shelves. It's just wide open, this safe. The drawers even ajar on this desk with nothing in them at all. Whatever was here, you've missed it.
By a lot.
Buggery shit. Buggery McPhee.
And I think that'd be quite a good time to end today's session.
Yes.
We're going to have to get that guy that was a bit talkative to tell us more.
Yeah, I think so.
He doesn't strike me as a hero. We might be able to.
I think
use.
I think Françoise will scare the shit out of him.
You do realize that that the overall strategy for defeating the Black Pharaoh is just to stick Françoise in front of him and let her scare him to death.
Yeah, well,
We
shall see how that goes.
Oh,
Françoise left.
oh, did I say so?
I didn't realise.
Right.
No, I think she just did it wrong. Did you do a boo-boo?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I hope you enjoyed that.
Very good.
As always,
Yes. Very intense.
Thank you.
Hopefully less intense than last time.
Well, intense in a different way. I mean, the last session had a lot of action in it, and this one has been a sort of slow. This is a slow realization that however big we thought it was, it's just got a whole lot worse.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's bigger and we're behind, and
Yeah.
we probably should go straight to the, because I think this is moving on its own schedule. If we flap around actually trying to complete everything, we're probably going to miss the
If we go
thing will
on,
get summoned.
if
Yeah, I
we,
believe we are done in Derby.
I think if we come here instead of going to Misr House, we'd probably before it left, because Gavigan went there and we went to Misr House, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we'd have turned up at Misr House when whatever it was summoned.
Yes.
Well, exactly, and you know, Elisha might not have got out alive. So
But now,
pros and cons. Pros and cons.
obviously, I mean, we were thinking Shanghai or Egypt, but now obviously Australia is big, important as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a long conversation, because I agree with Becky. This thing is obviously it's running to its own specific timetable, which and we're clearly behind.
Well, I think, Becky, if you're right about what they made, then that could be the end destination then.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a theory, but like we know, obviously, it's Gavigan. It's nothing to do with War Office per se, but we also, when Pranit mentioned that they obviously had here the statuette at some point, so these people have obviously somehow been convinced to make these artifacts, that they're not machines of war, right? It's nothing that goes on a ship. It's not a big crane. It's not something for an archaeological dig. So realistically then, if they've been able to convince them to make these Egyptian artifacts, then it stands to reason that it's going to be like the chariot the Black Pharaoh rides in the painting, or something of that sort, some accoutrement for the Black Pharaoh, because
Well, let me see. Was it?
Just to make sure you're aware, with that ledger, it does say about Australia, but what it's saying is that the parts are coming from Australia to Derby, and then it says a bit further up, it talks about materials and parts to Shanghai.
Ancient
so
machine.
this stuff goes to Shanghai.
Well, it doesn't say from Derby, but it says Gavigan's written up a thing saying that some stuff goes to Shanghai.
Well, the first one was fabricated materials and parts, prototypes to Pale Viper, Shanghai. Receipt of technical schematics and blueprints, care of Pale Viper, delivered to Henson Manufacturing, Derby. Ancient machine parts, care of Houston, Australia, delivered to Henson Manufacturing, Derby. So the parts came from Australia. 24-inch statuette of the Father of Serpents, solid gold, to Houston, Randolph Shipping, Darwin, Australia. So that went back to Australia.
So I think they've dug up this. I wonder if we're thinking about the source wrong, because we're always thinking Black Pharaoh sources in Egypt, right? But what if actually the Aboriginal stuff we found at the very beginning of the campaign is actually the source of all of this
Aboriginal?
mischief? Well, yes, there was a. We were in Peru, but we found a reference to where is it?
It's New York, wasn't it?
The New York professor. No, the professor from.
Yes, the professor in you spoke with him whilst in New York. He was talking about Australia. Yes.
Yes, and.
Oh, the father of all bats, you mean?
Yes.
Or father of bats, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bats.
So if this stuff is coming from Australia, maybe that's actually the, if you like, the source, the big finale.
Well, I don't know. There is stuff going to Australia as well.
It's up to you. However, I have started reading a little bit of China, so if you're planning to go somewhere else, then please do tell me in advance.
Well, we're working it out, but yeah.
Yeah, I know, but give me some time.
So stuff has come in, parts and blueprints has come into Derby, and they've sent stuff out to Australia, Egypt, Mombasa, and back to Australia again.
Right, but what we know, the boat that left the Penhew Foundation, or the stuff from the Penhew Foundation, that was going to Cairo, then to Shanghai.
Mhm.
What we don't know is whether this contraption was on that boat. If we think about the timings, that boat left whilst Gavigan was in Derby.
So we are just 1 day behind, 2 days behind.
2 days.
So, well, the point is, if he was in Derby when the boat left, and he was thanking them for finishing it, the boat had left.
That can be it.
So it can't be on that boat.
You remember that the boat was going to leave later that evening, but you don't know when Gavigan actually went up to Derby on that day.
Right, so we could have gone there and come back, because it's only an hour or so on the train, right? Or 2 hours.
Yeah, a couple of hours.
Right. So yeah, it could be on that boat then. I think we have to abandon the werewolf plot and catch this thing up. We're going to have to either get a faster boat, or we're going to have to go across land to beat it around France and Spain, because we're only a couple of days behind. It would have had to have gone out the Thames estuary, around the Channel.
Yeah.
And what we now 2 days behind?
Yeah, has to go around Spain.
2 days behind. So right at the moment, it will be around the Bay of Biscay.
Yeah.
If
We've got to
we
check
can get
the Orient Express, because if that's running to time, we could get ahead or there at about the same time, because the Orient Express is a hell of a lot faster.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's what we've got to take. We've got to see where the Orient Express stops, because we need to get across the north-south of Europe over land, and then get a boat and finish the journey ahead of it and meet it in Cairo.
Because we don't have to ride. We don't have to ride the Orient Express all the way to the end.
No, we need to get to Cairo. We can do it on a boat, but we have to get ahead of the one that is currently around the Bay of Biscay.
Yeah.
So are you now thinking of stopping in Cairo?
Yeah.
We'll catch the boat. Although, yeah.
We want to be there when that boat arrives, and we want to get on board it before it unloads.
Yeah.
So we could.
That's a whole.
We could always fly to France and catch a train in Paris.
There is another option. And that is like, Orient Express, get across Europe, get a very small boat and meet it at sea.
Ooh.
Actually board it.
Risky.
Can we find it at sea? That's the trouble.
There is that.
I mean, you might stand a chance if you get to down to Gibraltar and catch it going through the Straits. Once it's in the Med, I think you've got problems.
To do it to Gibraltar, we'd have to get Gibraltar. Let me see. So across Bay of Biscay. At very most, we've got 3 days, but probably, or maybe only 2. I don't think we could get to Gibraltar quick enough.
Realistically, intercepting it at sea, it's going to be difficult. Wonderful if we could pull it off, but I think realistically, beating it to the docks.
The problem is, by the time we get to Calais, we then have a day to get to Gibraltar. Now, I don't know if you've ever done that in the modern era, in 1925 to get it.
It's yeah. Thing about the real Orient Express, because apparently there's a Simplon Orient Express as well. The real one goes from Paris to Vienna, apparently. So it's not really anywhere near the Med.
Is that the one that goes via Italy?
No, I think that's the other one. I'm just trying to find it.
Because the other one is the one that the Orient Express campaign is based on, isn't it? It goes
Yeah, but that one is not. That one's not the actual Orient Express. I don't think. I think it's the Venice Simplon Orient Express.
because there is several, isn't there?
Yeah, it's really confusing. I thought I should be able to find the stops, but no, that's probably why it's not mentioned in the book. It's quite funny though, because sometimes people run the Orient Express campaign within this one.
Yeah, we're going to have do
Right,
the Orient
I'm not
Express
doing that.
campaign to get to us to Constantinople.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. It's a bit much. But I mean, if you are for definite thinking of going to Egypt instead, we could say this is the end of the England chapter and declare you improvement roles and
I
stuff.
think it's the
Yeah.
end of England. I think it's definitely the end of England.
Yeah, it is. I think we need to get to that boat before it's unloaded.
Well, we could go
Yeah.
straight. We could go straight to Liverpool and see what we can catch from Liverpool. Don't have to go back to London.
Well, the problem then is we're on a boat 2 days behind, 3 when you consider Liverpool down to the north of France. So we'd be 3 days behind. We'd have to get a very fast boat
You
to
would.
get to Cairo first.
Yeah.
So that's why I think going train across Europe is better, because then we just get a boat.
Oh, hold on. Okay, that makes more sense. So actually, there is the Simplon Orient Express that runs to places like Milan, Venice, Trieste, and Belgrade.
Yeah, because all we need
Venice,
is a stop that's a port town that'll let us get
Well,
a
Venice will do for the Adriatic.
yeah, Venice, because that's on the east of Italy, right? Northeast.
Yes, that's
Yes.
right.
Italy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's perfect. Because from there you just cut across.
yeah. That's why I was thinking the Orient Express, because we just pull it on there. It gives us time, and we can get to the docks before that thing arrives, and we'll know which ship it is because Pranit's already seen it.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
True.
So we don't
Okay.
even have to worry about having to hunt the damn thing down, because Pranit will say that's the boat there.
So, are we all in agreement? It's going to be Cairo.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Final answer. Okay, cool, fantastic. I appreciate it's midnight.
Yes.
So
For
if
me,
you want
yes.
to do improvement, well, yeah, for you. If you want to do improvement rolls next time, that's fine. But yes, we can. Let's declare this the end of England now. And we're heading to Cairo. So yeah, she'll be able to do your improvement rolls and blah blah blah. Do you want me to quickly go through rewards, or would you rather do that next time?
Let's do it next session.
Yeah.
I do everything next session, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I just heard the words that a great many Scotsmen have been wanting to hear. That was the end of England.
Awesome. Oh,
But yeah,
So-
I'm thinking of Giorgio here, so let's do it next
Yeah,
time.
I need to take my time and stuff.
I'm sorry, guys.
it's
I know I'm a
okay.
bitch to him in character, but that's purely role playing.
Okay, right. I'm going to cut the broadcast. Thank you, Braden, and hopefully Steve
Yeah.
for watching. We'll
Yeah.
see you next time.
Thank you, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Silas